Rock, I was playing Super Mario World Randomizer. Good times. No. Whoop, I didn't
Start a prediction, manage polls. Yeah, I don't have any of that. I'm not doing polls or like Gamba. I don't have enough there for that. Not monetized stream.
I need to
Where
worship this ice cream ball.
Where is it? I already have some of these here. No, I need... Why does it not allow me to add the thing?
Yeah. Okay. Hi.
Hey. Okay. There was supposed to be a way to add moderation. And it doesn't let me add that. Oh well, I'll have to keep two windows open then. Go to
Video game.
I can barely hear myself there. Let's see. Let me test this again.
I can hear you pretty well.
I'm talking about like through Twitch.
Yeah, I can't help you there.
Yeah, it's quiet on Twitch's end here.
It would not.
Yeah, you're like louder than I am. That is weird. Hold on. I'm gonna have to boost my mic a little bit then. Alrighty, that might be better. Hey! Fa-ba-da-bop, shoo-ba-da-boop. Alright, let's get this down here, and I am ready to roll here. Hey everybody, it's Foxen's on. Yay!
Yo.
I'm here. The house is not entirely cleaned up after yesterday's Luna mess, but I can only do so much. That's what happens when I go fishing and throw out my back. But it's enough for now.
Luna the puppy. Lucky, hey buddy.
My stomach is killing me because I made like a Japanese style fried fish dinner, but that also required like I had like grated daikon and some other stuff. And it's like heavy probiotics, so it's just like kicking my stuff. But
like me with the peanut sauce noodles.
Yes. Like I had a lot of ginger and like Japanese flavors to the fish. It was good, but my stomach is not used to those like probiotics being added in, so it's like. So if I have to get up on occasion, it'll happen. But hey, Luna, come over here. Leave Sweetie alone. There you go, good girl. I got stuff for the dogs today. I got them some new chew stuff, and then other things. I still need to pick up food. I was like, I don't have anything I really need right now, so I'll just buy some extra stuff like refilling the air fryer. Or not the air fryer, I don't have an air fryer. The regular fryer and other things like that. And then it's like, oh, well, there is a game on sale that I didn't even know existed. Oh, well, I'll just wait for it to be on sale again later. Like did you look at the game? It's one of the weirdest FPSs I have ever seen.
I didn't look at it, but I did look at Kato.
Kato?
Yes, it's like one of those multiple character control puzzle games where you play as a cat and a buttered slice of toast.
Oh, I think the Game Grumps played that before.
Yeah.
But our Markiplier...
It's slated for a full release sometime this year.
Wow, that took a while. But no, bears in space. It just looks so absolutely absurd. It's like 1950s cartoonized like aliens and robots that you're fighting in like a bullet hell FPS shooter. And your power is you can turn into a bear that knows bear foo. It can shoot like Kamehamehas and like kick down doors and throw giant robots and stuff. So it's just.
I guess we know what Kodiak Prime's been up to the last 2 years.
I don't think. I think the bear is female, so I don't think that's going back. That'd be a little awkward. But I mean, the bear is female, but the main character is male. It's, I guess, it was like a transporter accident, and they got fused together or something. You know, Star Trek style. So they just switch between who's in charge at the time to kick butt. It's weird. It just looks like a fun, absurd game. Sometimes I just like those absurdist games. Like, I wanted to get EDF, but that can wait. I mean, it's EDF. It's not going anywhere. Alright, let me see here. What are you doing? What are you doing? I need to start the stream. Can you not? Okay. Well, we're playing MaGMML3.
Yep. I'm here too.
Co-op MaGMML, Zero Connect, yes. So, yes, we're going to be continuing this. We're getting closer to the end. Of course, after we beat all the things, there's probably going to be a bunch of like dev levels and things. If it's like MaGMML 0, where there's like a huge like endgame.
MaGMML 2 was like that.
It goes absolutely insane. Alrighty.
Connecting, or trying to, anyway.
I'm still waiting for the game to open before I accept the connection.
Scary!
Oop. Calm down now. MaGMML, please.
It's a thingy.
There it goes.
Don't you forget that it's a thingy. Hey, video game.
Yeah, apparently, I was hearing like the new EDF. Some of they had repeat levels, but apparently they remix a lot of things with crazy stuff going on that you don't expect because again, the aliens are using time travel.
Okay.
So it starts out like, oh, we do a couple from 5, then everything starts going what? Like it's specifically for people who played 5 and are going to be like, hey. All right. Ba 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 ba. Shiba ba ba da ba. It says we're 66%, which is.
That's
It's probably also including like the post game stuff, and maybe it's including like the battle arenas.
Game, will you cooperate, please? Are you a thing? Okay, we're a thing.
Being weird. Pick your poison. Is that Will Smith?
Looks like it, yeah.
It's rewind time. Huh?
Oh, gravity. High gravity! Oops. Why did we go with the high gravity?
I mean, I just figured it'd be something a little different. We've had a lot of high gravity stages, or low gravity stages.
Okay.
Oh my god. So
Ah, I see.
what?
The spike ceiling. Maybe you should have slid across.
Maybe.
Okay, just making sure the gravity applies to me too.
Oh yeah.
Luigi!
That would be a little weird otherwise. That almost seemed a little more difficult than the normal gravity.
Alright, what's it gonna be? Okay.
Oh no.
Ringman or whoever that is, or this is Pharaoh Man, not Ringman.
This is going to be rather annoying with low gravity to fight him. So many choices.
Speed.
Oh, extra speed? Sure. Let's go for zoomies. Ow. Cat mode! And yes, tigers do get the zoomies just like the cats in that video.
I'm moving at normal speed.
Oh no! That!
Didn't help me, it didn't save me from getting dumped.
Okay,
this time I'm the one with high speed.
Whoa! Lag almost got me there. Whoa, that dude really did a lot of damage! Oh,
no,
crap.
I just spawned in.
Oh,
half your health.
yikes.
Hey!
Uh-oh.
I'm normal again.
That health would have been nice for me. Oh no! Oh no! Yep.
Well. Slow kangaroo.
Slurry. Yep, I missed them all.
Oops.
Wagla.
Is that so?
I
don't want to buy a lamp, and I don't think Caligula is here.
What? Caligula? That's a pretty random. Oh, these flamethrower dudes are the worst.
It sounded like you said.
Ow.
Yeah!
Speed!
More zoomies. Toadman or Top Man?
Toadman is just boring. No, oh no! Oh no! That is awful. That is no, absolute. That is just instant death doing that. Wow. Oh, this is. Yeah. No.
Whoops! It sure is a level. I kinda like it.
Ugh.
Yay!
Gee.
Round 3? 1 times.
Extra
half
gravity, but
and
slow.
Half speed or double gravity and double speed. Okay. Good luck.
Okay, that's awful. Hey, double gravity but normal speed. Lucky you. Oh, this is awful to make this timing. I hate these flamethrower dudes. Go away!
Oh.
Still slow.
I know how to fix that.
No, I am still slow. I can't do anything. This is completely broken with multiplayer. Oh! You can't even fight him with low gravity and slowness there, because I can't even jump over his attacks. That's the only way to dodge those. That sure does not work with multiplayer. Holy crap. Wow.
Fun, though.
That was really broken for multiplayer.
Huh. I really like this premise. The individual level pieces in any other stage would be boring and uninspired. It's all standard gimmicks and enemies, no real semblance of theme. And it's all stuff we've seen before. However, the ability to pick and choose your gravity and speed parameters creates something completely new, on top of having a ton of natural replay value. With these assets, how you play becomes a distinct, unique choice, and every playthrough can be a little different. And should your choice not be working out, you can change your mind. Sadly, this doesn't always work. The individual paths are generally fine, generic theming aside. Starts out with gravity mods, which many players will be used to, and then goes for speed mods before ultimately combining everything. The only real problem spot is in the second one, as Gutless can be surprisingly irritating with speed mods. The problem is more the bosses, which can get unfortunately dicey. Having poked through every possible combination, there's a few bosses that are close to impossible if you pick your wrong choice. Cutting your horizontal movement in general is a bad idea, and between the two final bosses, Dustman seems to be noticeably easier. The feeling of only one valid solution kind of defeats the point of this place, which is a touch awkward after the level itself handles so smoothly. This is probably my favorite usage of Split Pass out of any level in this contest. Even though you're ultimately going through the same segment no matter what you pick, the way that altered speed and jump height influences said segments makes for a really interesting stage premise. Starting off, I really like how each choice involved had its own share of pros and cons. For example, low gravity jumps allow you to... Bum, bum, bum! Can I just, like, turn the gain down on this or something? That's not the gain switch. Neither is that. Where is it? Boom. Which one of these is it? It's this one. Okay, let's... Maybe that's better. No, not really. Jeez.
No, need it for the code.
Okay, anyway. Granted, not all of these for example, low gravity jumps allow you to bypass or trivialize certain enemies, but then you run the risk of more easily hitting spikes in low ceiling segments. Granted, not all of these segments have an equal trade-off for your choices. Picking a speed down in the first segment, or you're prompted to do so, feels way more punishing than the speed up option. That, and no matter which movement types you pick, the Popo Helis will always be a problem. Special mention goes for the one in the final stretch, which constantly respawns unless you jump over in a certain way or just get rid of it with Laser Trident. Even with that in mind, each section still feels like it has a lot of thought put into it based on the available choices. And on that note, thank you so much for not putting tokens in this stage. Having to rely on one movement option or the other for them could have easily been disastrous, so it was a good call not to use them here. As for anything else, I think the only parts of the level I didn't like as much were the boss fights. Some of them are fine no matter which movement option you pick, while others with more gimmicky rooms feel nearly insurmountable if you pick the certain combinations. Top Man's boss room may as well just instantly kill if you happen to pick the speed up option beforehand. Same thing goes for Airman if you pick the high speed, low jump option.
What the? I can hardly hear you all of a sudden.
I changed the gain on my microphone.
Oh, okay.
I can turn it back up.
No, I turned you up on Discord. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
just trying to balance the noise from my microphone against the in-game audio. Anyway, same thing goes for Airman if you pick the high-speed, low-jump option. I feel like seeing the boss portraits before you make your choice of movement options and maybe some indicator of what kind of gimmicks the room had, if any, would have alleviated this a bit. All that being said, I still had a good time at this stage by the end of it. Overall, not too bad. The illusion of choice. I think this is a very neat idea, picking your own modifications that change the dynamic of the section you're going through, and you can change it up on later playthroughs if you want a different experience. It reminds me a bit of a roguelike game. Except the problem is, low gravity and high speed are pretty much always the easier options. Players can overcome their problems by simply not jumping as high or moving so hastily. Whereas for the opposite, they have effectively no control outside of the restriction. Therefore, high speed and low gravity pretty much always dominate unless there's an extension shortcut that you can only really go through with the inferior options. To that stage's credit, it does offer a few of those instances. For example, low ceiling spikes to counter low gravity, or precision platforming against higher speed, but the rest of the section is still pretty much hamstrung. It's interesting at the end where it starts mixing it up in the final sessions, where you get one merit but a demerit to go along with. But the same problem arises where faster speed makes for an easier time. Movement just dominates, as demonstrated in the Top or Toadman fights, where mobility is essentially crucial. The only compensation for picking a low speed is for more weapon energy, which kind of gets nullified by the fact you get practically infinite amounts of it regardless of the infinite lives you have in this game. Would have been a pretty stellar stage if the bouncing had been adjusted more. Pick your review, the whiny one or the happy one? The whiny one. Good luck on a no damage buster only run. Most of the challenges are reasonably perfectible, barring some demanding ones involving heavy gravity, gutsless, and unexpected shielded enemies. But not the last 4 bosses. The combination of altered movement physics, limited room to maneuver, death spikes, and or questionably implemented gimmicks is just too much, requiring special weapons or excessive precision to survive. The only strategy that seems to work against Airman is don't fight Airman. The rapid learning curve gives the level a nice pace, but at the expense of player mastery. More practice with basic platforming after each movement change would be beneficial, especially after the speed change. Popo Heli and conveyors is not a good way to learn. And as a matter of personal preference, any part with slow movement is too restrictive for me to fully enjoy. Also, I'm kind of disappointed that Toadman doesn't comically explode on the spikes when he appears. The happy one. Movement gimmicks are a tricky proposition when the same stretch of level needs to accommodate 2 different possibilities. This level does an admirable job of crafting nicely replayable challenge arcs that balance fast, slow, high, and low. Power-ups, checkpoints, spikes that explode when the boss dies, and gimmick signage are considerate of the player as well. Music and graphics are appropriate. Technical construction seems to be flawless. Fast movement is bonkers and fun, and it pairs surprisingly well with heavy gravity. The slightly oversized enemy and gimmick roster is used to good effect. The first stretch with modified jumping is a highlight for me. I also enjoy the Fairman fight. His attack pattern and the room architecture work equally well with either movement modification. Overall, this is a unique twist on the usual gameplay, and I like that there's freedom of choice attached.
Oh, don't go back in.
Oh, right. Flashman isn't the last guy.
Nope, not that.
What the heck? That was odd.
The sign changed.
Multiple paths. So often have I seen these sync levels and make the whole combined package worse, and often just not giving either path enough time and love to shine. And sure, here you are technically going through the same path with different movement options, but there's still mechanically multiple paths. But here, there's restraint. I think restraint is one of the things that earn a lot of goodwill in situations like this. Players are not forced to replay this level. Both final bosses drop the same energy element, which is good, because some poisons here are less fun than others. Oh sure, I replayed the level with all possible options out of judging obligation, but no one else has to. This was smart. I think poisons where your movement is only hampered are the least fun options. They're a bit slow and plotty for my taste, and the first segment in particular invokes a lot of pixel-perfect jumps, and when combined with low gravity is honestly the hardest and most tedious segment of the level. But any given segment is short, and checkpoints are not far away. This restraint, it helps the level. The stage has clearly had a fair bit of thought put into it, and barring a couple of circumstances, any of the many, many, many deaths I suffered always felt like my own fault, not too punishing. Either. I think this allowed me to ultimately enjoy the design of the stage rather than feel like I was butting my head up against it. For purely dev kit assets, this stage does look nice, and for once a stock piece of Mega Man music fits it well. Rather than trying to remind me I am playing a lesser version of an old stage, Starman's theme helps highlight the overall atmosphere. Another frequent complaint I've made over judging is stages just arbitrarily using Robot Masters as mid-stage bosses. I don't make that complaint here. These aren't just wasting my time fighting something I've fought before. New rooms and changes to your movement render these fights way more original, and thus, they're complementary to the level rather than distracting. There is enough thought or novelty put into these battles that I feel compelled to try every option. Of the fights, I think Gravity Man and Airman are the weakest here. Gravity Man feels pretty much the same. Admittedly, he's such a simple and hard-coded boss, it's tough to make him novel. And Airman is ill-suited to the new movement options you're given, basically boiling down to a damage race as you really don't have enough time to set up dodging the air shooter. A shame, since he's one of the potential final bosses. Overall, while I think this stage might not suit everyone, I came away pretty positive. As basic as it was, this was an overall fun level. Good job.
I think the bosses were a bit crazy, but...
I need a...
Whoa!
Drop something.
I had... Bastion is glitching. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I just gotta find new ways to break the game. I found new ways to break the game.
Yeah! Hello. What the heck? Okay then.
In the wall! Woohoo! Alpine Weather Institute. Uh-oh.
Token skip. Mountains are nice. This is the life. No credits for us, I guess. Hey there, Richie man. Beating a level isn't the problem, getting all the tokens is. If you're having trouble with that, go left. Gah, that side path at the end. Just one teeny tiny mistake and you gotta do it all over again. Gah!
Do we want to see it first, or do we want to just grab them? Alright.
We'll get a chance to see it later. I mean, like, we can check it out when we get there, but I'd rather just have the token. Ooh! It's a rain switch.
Huh, interesting. I see a token this way.
Ah! Ah! Well, you made it. I didn't.
The weird, like, shot put, whatever you call these.
Curlinger.
Oh yes, curling. That's the name of the sport. Yes. They do fit the level theme. That's. Oh, that's a different dude. The house is going to smell like wet tiger and rue. These tigers dry off pretty quick, apparently. Tigers love water.
We got her.
Whoa.
The frame rate killer. Whoa! Okay then.
That's interesting.
Oh. Oh boy.
Whoa. Ah!
And you died.
Well.
This is pretty
It wasn't very much room.
Bogger.
Wasn't very much room to maneuver there.
Nope. Yeah, I'm just gonna jet. Oh, it's not over.
Red fire for the win. Whoa!
Ice!
Ah!
Okay, clearly we need to find something to change it back to water. And then backtrack.
Ah! Well. That is a long backtracking. Oh, I see it. We'd have to go all the way back through here. Oh, penguin! Ah!
That was a lag death. There's just too many moving colors. Going down, I guess.
I guess so. Oh. Oh!
What was that, a portal? Nice. Break dash. Here.
Oh, you can use the normal stuff along with it. Okay.
You didn't know that about break dash?
Oh, it's a puzzle. Woohoo.
Yep. You gotta freeze, push it along, and then drop it. You gotta hit the button twice, or no, you're not allowed to. Okay. Rude Thunderbolt guy.
Wait, the puzzles are definitely interesting if they're slowing this down dramatically.
Yes. You should have just been able to push it with the Buster or something.
Wait, what's the... Oh, I see what the point of this is, okay.
Use it as a platform to slide. Ew.
I don't even see where this last token is.
So Mr. T.
Hey! Extremely rude. I was trying to see what was up there.
Oh, I was pulled across space, time, dimensions, and stuck here. Give dev commentary.
Okay.
The creator of the stage started way back doing testing stuff in the old MaGMML3 dev kit, creating his own switch block mechanics, which are going to be featured in a level. After seeing powered-up switches are included in the MaGMML3 dev kit, the creator was worried the stage would be too similar to others, and instead repurposed some ideas to be based off the weather effects of the Telltale object. Float blocks are actually based on an obscure gimmick from Powered Up, where blocks that could be destroyed by Firestorm would float in the level creator. Vast majority assets in this level are actually made by repurposing other aspects of the dev kit. The switch, whether it runs off of 2 switch handler objects and a Telltale weather object. Float blocks are based on Ice Wall. Moving water is based on Astro Doors and Object Shift, to give some examples. Most of the enemies in the stage are slight edits of their dev kit counterparts. This is why Curlingers can bounce off each other, and why Lightning Lords can be stacked on any object. Did you notice Lightning Lords fire faster in rainy weather? Choker O was chosen for the level because it has a generally consistent jumping pattern that linked it well to the float block interaction. The fact that Choker O is a meme did not influence the decision, and at one point, Choker O was almost replaced, but the creator was convinced by other people to keep it in. Because I am everywhere.
Okay. At least he is not a Moogle. Mogul, rather. Because then you get muscle hyper tails, and nobody likes that. Why are you dinging? I just let you out. Uh-oh.
Optional token challenge. Be warned, if your float block breaks, you're not going to be happy.
Oh no.
Path forward.
Do we even want to check out this?
Yes.
Alright. Why do I have Rush on?
Why am I ice? Why am I Spark Chaser?
I don't know.
Oh, that's what I meant. Okay, yeah, I've seen enough.
Yeah, that's going to be a little ridiculous. Luna, no, 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 Luna, no, 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 no. Oh, the plushie! I just let you out, Luna. What are you doing?
Letting you address the Luna problem.
I just let you out, puppy. What is your problem? Don't bite. Do you actually need out there? Are you just trying to play? It's not time to play. She's trying to get me to play. I just played with you before we started streaming, so you would be not wanting this. Calm down, Luna.
Puppy is always wanting this.
Yes, well, spoiling her too much is apparently making her super separation anxiety to the point to tearing up the couch. But the husky expert I talked to thinks too. Because she was so, like, neglected when she was little that she's just, like, hyper clingy to anybody who's, like, willing to love her. But you can't tear things up. What do you actually need out there? Hi, puppy. Luna.
Hi, puppy.
I'm streaming, puppy. You gotta stop. Calm down. There, you get some attention. Are you okay? Calm down. Don't smack me in the face. Ow. That doesn't help.
Puppy, please.
Luna, okay, please. I know you want to play. Now's not the time to play, though. I'll throw your toy around a little bit once we beat the level, okay? Jeez.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Bitrate killer!
Yep.
This would be a terrible section to die into. Oh.
Passing by the boss door is pretty funny.
Vibrations! That sure was something. Wow, smacked down there by Flesh Man. Alright, I'll... Stop licking the thing. Is this what you want? It almost... Oh no, it went in the water bowl! Oh no, it's soaked with water. Nah.
Well, we got clouds, rainstorms, snowstorms, and winter ice. It's for alpine weather.
This thing is completely soaked with water.
So, of course,
that's went everywhere.
Waterfalls or lightning lords, so it's safe to say this is more
Sorry, Rusty, you still got splashed with water.
Just Cloudman 2.0. Weather effects are put to excellent use of puzzle solving, particularly with breakdash puzzles at the end. While the water-based sessions can get irritating due to how the waterfalls throwing off control in some rather tight spaces, and the rain sounding a constant irritant. The winter sections were all a lot of fun. Props for the Flash Freeze intro. Anyways, holy carbs, so many lightning lords. On one hand, that's hilarious. On the other hand, it makes the rest of the enemies largely forgettable. The only other ones I really remember are Curlinger and Choker O. Curlinger because of the invincible respawning pipes. Choker O because it tries really hard to be a mid-boss and doesn't do it very well. Never mind the glitchy snapping movement.
The whole house is soaked now in Luna.
Luna.
I threw the toy and their plushie landed in the water. Oh, no. And she's shaking it and it's getting everywhere. When I threw it for her again, it was like a pinwheel of water all over the place. It's just... It completely is like strings of water all over the place.
Puppy.
Huskies, jeez.
Puppies. As far as the full package goes, well, it's not bad. Layouts are interesting, frustrating waterfall rooms aside, helped along by thoughtful checkpoint placement, and it ends in the neat idea of the rising block trap. Unfortunately, the rising blocks are more than a little awkward to fight on, and Pink Choker O makes a very dull end boss. The third token is a bit more climaxy, but that's because it's a huge difficulty spike compared to the rest of the level. It's quite a long string of tasks, some more complex than they look, and all it takes is one mistake or glitch to have to start over. That token took forever, and it drained all the fun from the level for a good while. Even after I came back and figured it all out, I'm still not sure I'm a fan. It's not a bad level, but I can't say this clicked with me. I absolutely love the gimmick of this stage. It could have just been limited to flooding the rooms, but the freezing effect adds a whole other layer that makes it really stand out. Everything in here is introduced and built upon exceptionally well, especially when it comes to gimmick and enemy combinations. The boxes interacting with the flooded and frozen segments led to some great puzzles for the most part, while the enemies fit each section relatively well without being too overwhelming. I got a kick out of the Lightning Lords in particular, with how a few of them are attached to other enemies that serve as their feet. The Choker O's interacting with the boxes is also a nice touch, although they seem to snap to whichever box is closest if their jump isn't dead center. And while it's certainly a bit off-looking, it didn't really cause any issues either. I only ran into two major problems in the stage, one of which happened in the first underwater room, where boxes are supposed to spawn and float up from the bottom. For whatever reason, the boxes never spawned for me the first time I played through the stage, though they did show up in subsequent playthroughs. The other issue comes in the form of the final token challenge. This is where steering goes from tricky to fair platforming puzzles to an outright frustrating game of trial and error. I mostly blame this on one particular switch, the one positioned just before a large pool of spikes lining the floor and ceiling. Since it has a strong tendency to activate twice if you jump on it from the wrong angle. I don't think I need to explain how easily this messes up the whole puzzle, and how it's made especially annoying that you have to redo it each time you die.
Granted, you quit shaking it! You're getting water everywhere!
Granted, it's one of those sections where you learn all the ins and outs of it. You'll probably be able to nail it each time you go back through. Actually getting to the point is nothing short of aggravating. Though, and it really does drag this level down to the point where I'd call it a bad stage. But not to the point where I'd call it a bad stage. Far from it, actually. The last sequence and boss definitely helped end things on a high note, though, seeing how involved and well put together they were. Overall, aside from a few technical issues and one rough token challenge, this is a really well-made stage I found myself replaying a couple of times just for the fun of it. State machines! Move on forward! It's quite neat with the mechanics of using the physics-based X blocks while incorporating environmental changes, combining to allow for some nifty progression puzzles, but I think there's just a few too many variables toward the end, so the stage ended up feeling like it dragged on. Not a fan of the music choices. There are too many high notes that it becomes not a pleasant experience after hearing it for an extended period. Especially adding to the factor of thinking time with these puzzles. The snowfall graphics could also do a bit of tweaking, as it can be a bit obstructive with how close the pixels are to each other. That puzzle room for the third token seems really wonky, where you can easily toggle the switch twice by accident at one part. Also, not entirely sure what you even do there to reliably get the block away from the left wall. I also feel there could have been a better way to reset the room without forcing a player death. I like that little fake that was good. Well, at that point, I was kind of ready to move on since that one puzzle room really soured the first playthrough of the stage. Here's what I like about it. Here's what I like about the level. Clean tile art, good music, and a quality Chrono Trigger reference. A well-crafted learning curve, creative and effective Lightning Lord variants, smart block puzzles that make great use of all the elements involved. They're probably the best uses of Curlinger I've ever seen. The unique final area, exceedingly thoughtful handling of the token maze warp and final checkpoint, and bottomless pits that are clearly labeled. Cute little touches such as the moon at the top of the final area and cloud platforms that turn gray when it rains. Here's what I dislike about the level. A recurring rain effect which might look better if it stopped at the water's surface. It tires my eyes after a while. Fuzzy directionality at the first pass play, then the backtracking prone layout of the indoor waterfall area. A few parts that aren't quite as forgiving, focused, or intuitive as the rest of the level. A handful of minor technical lobbies, such as being able to damage the boss before the battle technically begins. Here's what ruined the level for me. A button in the final token area that doesn't work correctly, causing over 10 minutes of frustration in my first playthrough, along with a lasting weariness of the weather gimmick and music. After such promise, boss corridor, no climax or oh, never mind. Yeah, you got me. I very much suspect that ending was put in for benefit.
Okay.
The stage is kind of great. Basically, Cloudland stage on steroids, and it always had a new twist to any given gimmick to throw the expectations of the player off. Frankly, the primary weather-changing gimmick in the stage is genius. You get a lot of mileage out of it, and the puzzle elements of the stage were generally nice and clean to solve. Aside from simple things such as the backtracking required from one of the tokens, not leading the player to have to repeat the room a third time, Lightning Lord sticking to other enemies, it's all pretty great. One thing that sideswipes the level a little is that last optional token. It's a mite too difficult for its own good. I got it, but it took me a while, and I experienced quite a few fatal glitches with the weather freezing gimmick in this room. It's too easy to keep triggering the switches twice in succession, which leads to, well, death. The ending did crack me up, although the boss itself is very simplistic, and overall there's plenty to be happy with in this level. Good job.
Woohoo. Well, we already read you before.
Aquaman! 31. Crosshair Aware. Right, Tokyo, Tokyo.
We already fought Slushy Man. No tokens! Oh no!
It's Donkey Kong Country 3.
I was gonna say it's Mighty Number 9. The sniper dude had a level like that.
I kind of wish the backgrounds here
Hit parallax or something.
No.
Or more to them.
Or no, that the back wall blocked the sniper shots.
Oh, yeah, that'd be neat. Probably harder to program. I mean, for as mediocre as Mighty Number 9 was, the second game that they made, which was a Gunvolt crossover, was actually really good. Like, I mean, it's weird because the Mighty Number 9 same company makes Gunvolt, and Gunvolt is awesome.
I thought Gunvolt was an Inti Creates thing.
Isn't Inti Creates the same thing? The same company, though?
No, Concept made Mighty Number 9.
Oh, Concept and Inti Creates are part of, like, the same thing, group or something. Yeah,
okay.
Now they are, at least. But they made a better Mighty Number 9 game. Like, it was actually really good. I just wish the initial one was. I'm still miffed at my frickin' signature edition just being a printed signature when it was... Wow, thank you, Lag. Noted it was actually his signature. No, it's just a mass-printed... It's his signature. Which is not at all what was promised.
Mighty Number 9 promised a lot of things.
Also got taken over by he fell victim to too many cooks. Too many people were brought on board and just wanted to add a bunch of dumb stuff, and
at least that's why the second NFTs.
Yeah, that's why the second thing with Mighty Number 9 was so much better, because it was just wasn't a bunch of people on Kickstarter and people who don't know a thing about business putting stuff in.
Go. Oops. Ooh.
Like it's Iga actually like did what he was saying he was going to do, so I didn't kickstart many games, but oh my god, will you get down?
This layout reminds me a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Jeez, that's annoying to have him up there that entire time.
Okay.
Thanks, Eddie. That's... was something that exists, I guess.
Kind of wish you could, like... Well, can you program advance what Eddie drops, or... I guess
it's
not.
supposed to prioritize things you need, like, more, but...
Yeah. Well, that sure didn't work out, now did it?
It's an awful enemy to have there.
Good thing we got tornado.
Sometimes Eddie can just be a derp. Whoa.
Herbal herb.
That will suck to try to Buster only. Just that enemy is awful placement. Oh no. Why? Why? That is an awful enemy to do that with.
So what did you, how much of the Betterified stream did you watch?
Of yours?
No, of Vinny's.
Oh, I didn't get to see much of it. I just know he was playing it.
Okay.
He had questions and stuff that he was asking about the game, but like I didn't know if you knew anybody from that stuff.
I wouldn't really say I know anybody from the Talk House.
Yeah.
Who dat?
It's basically the Mighty Number 9 dude, practically.
Okay.
It's different for sure, but it can see the inspiration, although this is done better. That you do way too much damage though, dude. Oh, great. Yeah, he does
Nice
way too much damage. Can we? Yeah, you can't even dodge all his attacks. That's kind of the problem there, is his attacks come out too fast. You need to slow down his gunshots there so people can dodge them. And then, I don't know. The Desperation attack needs to take a little less time. He also shouldn't be doing such absurd amounts of damage. Look at that! He took off like a quarter of your health in one hit! That is overtuned boss. Wow! Dude, slow your roll on the fucking damage. And the gunshot speed. Like, reduce the gunshot speed so people can dodge it. And reduce the damage he does. And you have a decent boss. Well, also Desperation attack. Maybe just have him do it twice, not like 4 or 5 times.
Jetman's theme remix from Mega Man Unlimited, as well as being a Starry Night City, and severely weakened Crosshair Fire from Super Fighting Robots Wily 2. I think I got those acronyms right. All merged into a single level.
Haven't played Super Fighting Robots Wily 2. Maybe I did? I don't know.
With such strong inspiration from other fan games, this doesn't impress me on the creativity angle. Fortunately, it has enough unique setups in its gameplay that it doesn't lose out completely. There is substance beneath what's been done before. And this is the part where I'm not focused on the game for some reason. As a whole, these city rooftops make excellent use of their pieces. Personal props are having strong difficulty curves. Each individual piece has a solid climb, and this happens without sacrificing a difficulty curve of the stage. The girder platforms stand out the most in that regard. The second spike room is nice and simple, but the spikes give it that late level threat it needed. Similarly, the crosshair itself is so simple that it works in basically any scenario, which lets it command a ton of valuable variety in scenario design. The enemies are simple, but they make good partners for the crosshair, and I appreciate how everything here fits the theme of aiming. I particularly like that the Kone was consistently something of a threat. Normally that isn't the case. Even Tondale managed to perform better here than it normally does, and I overall appreciate seeing a pushover be made into a fair challenge. The only real dud is Wall Blaster. It doesn't have as much of an impact on the level layout comparatively. And having its first appearance while also avoiding the crosshair seemed a little awkward to me. Ultimately, this is well designed and fun to play. It's definitely not the most creative level in the contest, but still a well-crafted experience. Some personal favorites are the second Hyoi, mixing drop platforms and the crosshair to great effect. And the final auto-scroll room, which is an excellent climax prior to the boss, but the rest of the level serves its purpose nicely, so there's very little to complain about. But that doesn't mean there aren't issues beyond creativity. Namely, the boss and the camera. The Sniper Robot Master is a little awkward, owing to his really fast bullets and how easily you can prevent his desperation move. As for the camera, there's a few spots where it won't behave quite right, particularly the climbing or at the drop platform. Please fix the camera and the climbing right so it jerks around on that one platform. It's literally painful. By my own admission, I tend to get bored very quickly when stages are too easy or have very simple enemy and room layouts. To an extent, this level would have fallen into this trap had it not been for the main gimmick making things way more interesting. The crosshair gimmick technically isn't anything new, as Super Fighting Robot did something just like it with one of its Wily stages. So I can't give it full marks for creativity, I can't exactly fault it for how engaging it makes the stage. Thanks to the inherent nature of the gimmick, you're pretty much always on the move and need to take care not to trip over enemies in the process. Granted, some of them are a bit more threatening than others. Dakoni in particular presents a nice challenge when used alongside the crosshair, while Tandeal... Okay, in all fairness, it's very hard to make that particular enemy threatening, though I always appreciate effort to try to find ways to do so. Another thing I like is the general flow of the level design. There's a decent amount of breather areas in between that lack the crosshair but introduce new gimmicks. Side gimmicks then get used in tandem very nicely with the crosshair, especially by the end during the auto-scrolling segment. It's a really good way to structure things around the central mechanic here, as trying to introduce new stuff alongside the crosshair could have easily proved too hectic otherwise. That said, I did run into a few problems as well. The biggest of them was in the vertical room involving the crosshair and several Shadow Man platforms. The screen has a tendency to jerk upwards when you reach a certain height in this room, which really doesn't help while you're trying to platform. The other main issue I have is actually with the end boss, so I found it to be a lot easier than the stage itself. I'm going to blame this on him following a perfect pattern for all his attacks each and every time. While this sort of thing works for mini-bosses, I think it's a bit detrimental to see it on the Robot Master. His Desperation attack certainly spikes things up, but it also comes with a caveat. You can outright skip it if you damage him enough during his regular pattern. Despite those issues, I still consider this to be an overall well put together and pretty fun level. Nice work.
I don't think the boss was that bad. I think the boss just needed to tone down his triple shot speed just enough so the players can actually dodge it.
Sniper! Oh no, the crosshair from Super Fighting Robot in Battle Network 4 strikes back! No, you do not want Searchman trying to snipe you while playing this level. That would be a nightmare. Actually, as long as you're moving, the crosshair usually has trouble keeping up, with the level layout also being more calm than where the similar mechanic was used in SFR. There's a few thrilling spots, though, with the drop platforms and shooting shielded enemies with the right timing, making you have to deal with the crosshair. The sections are really fun. I also appreciate the generous checkpoint usage here. The unfortunate thing about the stage is it's a bit on the short side. Along with the fact that crosshair is absent during some of the trickier sections, the main gimmick of the stage ends up feeling not as prominent as a result. The setting, while fairly
SFR. Okay. I must have played it in the past and forgot. I have Super Fighting Robot. I must have played through it in the past. Oh, maybe. I don't know.
This is somewhat fitting for a Robot Master who's a sniper. I enjoy the vibrant color scheme. The boss can be intimidating at first, but his shots can be dodged and manipulated in your favor once you get the pattern. I like it. With its interesting premise, steadily increasing complexity, reasonable length, suitable checkpoint placement, mostly solid and sensible construction, clean graphics, and listenable soundtrack, this level meets my expectations for a good Mega Man level. With further refinement, it could definitely exceed my expectations. There's a clearly defined structure to the gameplay.
I swear you leave your toys outside just to try to get me to go out there and grab them, so you can steal them from me and run away. Why did you go out through the cat door? Get back! Dog.
Like a doggo to me.
Say, why is the cabinet open?
Combining with it.
Oi.
Introduce new hazards, combining with an aggressive crosshair, repeat. However, the level rushes its challenge box a little bit. Only a few of the introductions are pitched at the right difficulty for players who've never seen these hazards before. It wouldn't hurt to cut 1 or 2 enemies from the boss here. I vote Wall Blaster. Even so, the challenges are good. The speed and damage output of the crosshair gimmick are calibrated perfectly. Enemy placement is excellent, and any combat involving drop platforms is a highlight for me. The boss puts up a good fight, though his crosshairs should really come out at half health. And his departure from the arena should really be through the open ceiling rather than through a solid wall, or solid floor if you stand too close to him because you hate winning. I'd like to see spikes that look more obviously like spikes. Smoother transitions into the continuous scrolling and auto-scrolling screens. The former is nauseatingly janky. And power-ups between checkpoints. Getting to checkpoints are just full health refills waiting to happen. I also like more integration of the aesthetic of the gimmick. More elements that look like they relate to the crosshair theme, or music that intensifies when the crosshair appears. Or obvious visual boundaries between crosshair and non-crosshair areas, perhaps demonstrating that you're safe indoors and vulnerable outdoors, which is only partially true here. There's more I want from the level, but it's enjoyable nonetheless. This is very close to being a really good level. There are a few places with fairly significant difficulty spikes down to your enemy choice and placement. The vast majority of enemies were fine, though the first few rooms seemed a bit busy, introducing all the enemies you were using in the stage at once. But the Dakoni and Cyber Gabriel were usually to the detriment of the level. The way the Cyber Gabriel acted was a recurring nuisance, as it acts differently to most other Gabriels, and you need to know how it works from the first encounter with it. The movement of the enemy is very finicky, especially as the crosshair gimmick punishes you for waiting for good patterns. The bigger problem was Dakoni. The first encounter is usually lethal. It is placed in such a tricky spot to deal with when you do not know how it works. There are 2 versions of the enemy, the other which does not have the leg armor but looks almost identical. So even if you know how the enemy works, you don't know how to get rid of it in a pinch. The second encounter manages to be more dangerous because it is much harder to hit safely and respawns if you move back even a little. There should have been a safe version of this enemy first to give the player a chance of understanding how to deal with it. The crosshair gimmick is very simple but works well. It ensures that none of the screens it occurs on are dull, as the player has to be constantly aware of the crosshair and when it will fire next. The boss was a very welcome addition. It was a reasonable challenge in the first couple of attempts, but also easily masterable. I am also a fan of the stage gimmick coming back and working in a boss fight, which you implemented impressively here. Overall, I really liked the way the whole level gelled. It looked good, and the music was great, although the background was a little boring. A lot of the elements are fairly generic, but put together still feel like a solid, traditionally themed Robot Master stage. Cool beans. Let's go to the movies.
Alright, there we go. Haida, haida,
30th place, Underground Runaround, a Delta Mudkip.
Pause.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Oh! Don't really get to see that mechanic used much.
Huh. It sounds like Mega Man 2 Game Boy music. No,
go away, Cursor-chan. We've already had a Cursor, man.
Nailed it. Oops.
Uh-oh.
Oh, rush coil time.
Well, I guess we have to use abilities then if that gets messed up.
I guess so, yeah.
Ow. Oh, the enemies cause it too. Whoa. Tennis balls!
Ooh. Tell the poppers.
Hoible, hoible! Oh, all of them fall. Well, that's going to be annoying. And oh no! Ah! Oh, well, only if not necessarily if they wait for me or you. Hey, moving slow is pretty. Ow!
Useful for Breber.
Sounds like a mega mix. the music. Here, Mega Man 2 themes mixed in with this too. Do 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 do. Yeah, it's a mega mix of different themes. Well,
Go! Ooh, hello.
Go away, Metroid. Oh, this is going to be...
No, why did you do that? You're gonna get crushed now.
Oh, thanks! That was perfect timing with that! Oh no. They're following me. Ah! Ah!
We shoot just that one. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Go! Yes.
Ow, ow. Ow, 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 ow. This dude looks like a frickin' Dr. Robotnik robot.
Do you know what level this gimmick is from?
I don't remember. It's a mainline gimmick, though.
Yeah, I know I've seen it before.
Stone Man, was it? No. I don't... It wasn't... Was it Stone Man? No.
Could it have been?
I don't remember. It wasn't a Game Boy game, no. It was in the mainland... Whoa! It was definitely in the mainland game.
Okay. Huh.
Who is that?
I don't know. What?
Well,
Ow.
that's... going to be awkward timing with that.
Oh, I guess you're supposed to just be sliding when it hits the ceiling.
I think there was a Dr. Wily level that maybe had the mechanic.
That's possible.
Good.
I'm sure the judges will know.
I mean, I would remember probably before my stuff. Yes! Okay, I was right about that. Then... Wait, I was sliding! Excuse me! I was hitting the slide button.
Woo! Well, that was silly.
Is that Shatterhand again, I think? Oh, this is a big level.
Yeah. Oops.
Ow. Wait, no, that's not Shatterhand, that's, I can't remember the name of it! The game that was supposed to be Terminator 2. Oh, Journey to Silius. Sunsoft music. The Sunsoft made crazy music in the NES era. Whoa! Whoa! Ish.
Oop.
What?
Apparently
How did you manage to
get down there? They must not be side solid.
I guess not. Wow, that was a lot of damage. That seems like a little mistake there. From whoa! Well, that worked out for me. Up.
Wow. I will be impressed if you can actually pull this off and it doesn't just kill you on the other side. It just kills you on the other side.
Well,
oh, Proto Man's Castle Stage 4, Amatsu says.
Yeah, I saw that. That's what I thought. It was part of a Wily stage. Are you okay? What? Are you trying to die? Or...
That was a huge lag spike, like 5 seconds long.
Oh, that was bad.
At least you didn't get one shot.
Oh.
Yeah, what is happening with Parsec right now?
I don't know. Parsec is doing something?
Yes, it is lagging the heck out.
Oh, that is awful! I don't know what Parsec is doing.
Oops.
Ah!
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, yeah, it's...
We all know it was really Bob who was impersonating Proto Man. Oh yeah, speaking of characters named Bob, what are we gonna do about your RP?
About Bob? Yeah, I don't know.
Alright.
I gotta figure a bunch of stuff out with that now, too. Ah, he got. Why do you have so much health?
It's Dennis. You...
There's no way I was gonna survive getting through there. What the heck?
Okay, use an E-Tank.
Ow. Guess it's waiting for you.
What?
Jeez.
What killed me?
Yeah, the Mets are doing a lot more damage than normal. Weird little Metroids. Oh, this is going to suck. Oh, no.
I think he figured it out. Laturation!
This is a long stage. Why? What is going on with the hitbox on that Met?
You made
Got
it.
shots passing right through it.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Oh, this is an interesting setup. I like it. Look out!
Trying to see how I survive that section right there without, like, perfect time sliding. Thank you, lag. That is... And you are walking on air.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I just respawned. How dare you? Like, I used to remember the names of all these things and the various levels and all that, but having a disability that causes severe chronic pain messes with your memory, unfortunately. It's not like I forgot, it's just at the time, at certain times my brain is just like, this is more important! Well, now he's just gonna respawn anyways.
Ooh.
I gotta... Well, at least those don't do much damage. Yay!
Haha!
No hit! No hit the ball! Or that works.
Yeah!
Well, thanks for the warning! That was... a little heads up on that would have been nice, thanks! How's the player supposed to know those things are gonna fall there and, like, insta-kill you? Oh my god, and the lag got me too. Oh. Well, at least it...
I like that it bounces out of the pit.
Well, at least they put that in.
I mean, it's guaranteed to fall into the pit otherwise, so...
Yeah.
Oh, the posters change.
Yes, they do.
Whoops.
Luna is laying under the desk like this. She's got her paw like that, and she's just like... She's just got her hand, like her paw under her chin, you know, like when you lay on your hand. She's just looking like a weirdo there.
Hi, puppy.
Oh, what's the matter? You don't usually like being a pillow, so with my feet. She likes being a pillow at night for sleeping, but that's about it.
This level surprised me, to say the least. To get one thing out of the way quickly, Underground Runaround isn't sunk by any individual rooms. That's not to say there aren't spots with problems. Some of the super tight dark band block sections have required suicide restarts more than once. Having red platforms against a red background is plain bad for readability. But those aspects aren't outright deal breakers for me, and most of the level is great. I love the dark band platforms and tile slide sections overall, mixing old and new ways to handle those gimmicks into something unique. The few stone blocks are also pretty cool, and the new blue enemies were a neat twist that increased the difficulty curve. Of course, individual sections aren't the problem so much as the whole. Good gravy, what a hole it is. It's not bad off for the first Darkman section, and just ending at Metal Daddy would have been acceptable, but boring. Adding the tile slide afterwards gives the place some new life, but then it also runs the level far longer than necessary. By the time we get to the napalm blocks, I feel like that annoying kid in the back seat of a road trip pestering their parents, "Are we there yet?" Now, is the level design bad for its length? Well, not really. The variety of the level remains solid. Very little of it feels like filler, and checkpoints and power-ups are plentiful, but this absolutely feels like you took every neat concept you had and threw it into the level, and the end result can be downright exhausting. I completely understand not wanting to leave good ideas behind, but sometimes you just have to do that for the sake of your players. Thankfully, Blue Power Piston ended things on a fun note, and the majority of the level is entertaining on its own. It's way too long!
I just would have liked more heads up during the boss that we're going to have something fall on us instantly. I mean, it's kind of a funny moment, but it's still just like, hey!
That was funny. Despite suffering from an overarching problem with its length, the level
especially because now we have to survive it in one hit. They're like, oh, no we don't, and instantly killed in one hit anyways.
The stage is a really good example of how to apply gimmicks, along with adding one or two new things on top of it. The Darkman Tower effect is used really well here, and I especially like the new quirk of having enemies halt the screen's progression. The changes to the falling platforms are pretty interesting as well, making all of them fall instead of just the one you're standing on. Not only are these new aspects introduced well, but the stage takes full advantage of them with some great room layouts and platforming challenges. There's a few rooms here and there to feel like filler, but for the most part they're still pretty engaging. As mentioned before, however, the level suffers a bit due to how long it is. There were numerous times I said to myself, this level should be ending now, yet it kept going. Despite the challenges being fun, there wasn't enough variety to distract from the fact that the stage kept dragging on and on. I'm glad there's at least a good amount of checkpoints placed throughout, otherwise this could have been a lot more annoying. There are a few other minor problems as well. Like the Blue Preston's introduction being in a way too cramped room. Always the boxes in the boss fight having some strange properties when you stand on top of them as you don't move along with them. All things considered though, it's not a bad stage, but the length issue definitely holds it back. Turn around and goes around. I enjoy the stage for how many creative setups it has with the Darkman Tower blocks, and falling rock platforms in particular, though toward the end it kind of starts to become a bit of a drag. The aesthetics are not bad, but some of the tile arrangements can be misinterpreted as secrets. I really like the different setups for each of the drill mini-boss encounters, be it in the form of new attacks or arena setups. Pretty creative ways to spice up that mini-boss in general. The real problem I have is the sheer quantity of the fights. Even with the variations, it can still start to feel like you're constantly getting overdone, and oops. Becomes padding on the stage like... The stage introduces another type of mini-boss near the very end. It really doesn't need to be there. The power piston boss at the end is alright. Funny concept for a boss, and it's simple enough that it isn't quite as draining after the mini-boss gauntlet happening throughout the stage.
Honestly, yeah, there should have only been like 2 mini-bosses. One with the green one and one with the blue one, instead of tons and tons of them.
The original plan for my judge level is to combine lots of underutilized gimmicks, including scrolling blocks and falling tower physics, 2 of my favorites, in creative and tricky ways, so I'm glad the person who beat me to the punch was able to do the premise justice. That said, there are some conspicuous flaws. I'll get the negatives out. I need water.
Alright. Quit chewing on my toe! Luna, stop licking the floor and don't chew on my toe. Returning the level length down a bit would be great. And only like 2 of those mini bosses? Like sure, do the green one and then do the blue one. That's all you need. You can split the again, you have a bunch of ideas with that. Use them to make your own fan game or for future levels or something. Split up the ideas. You don't need to show them all in at once. I mean, if you got good ideas and you put them in through, well, don't be afraid to just use some of what you got. Don't need to dump all. Don't play all your cards at once, basically. People will appreciate it more. Quit chewing on my toe! I did not intend to do that effect, but Luna's like chewing on my toe. Stop chewing on my big toe.
I'll get the negatives out of the way. Unpredictable or inconsistent object behavior, e.g. elevators rise until they arbitrarily decide to stop. Bomb shockwaves teleport from the edge of a higher platform onto a considerably lower one. High soft lock or death potential from playing differently than intended, for example, failing to stand on an elevator when it departs, using magnet beam basically anywhere. And too much padding, e.g. straightforward metal combat. The aesthetics are comfortable, save for a few clashing color and tile choices, e.g. scrolling background tiles. With different architecture, there would be no need for a few stray invincible blocks and only seeing once falling blocks. Long load times are a problem. 1 or 2 challenges need serious retooling, e.g. sliding out of an elevator shaft at the last minute. The boss is fine, but disappointing. Why introduce a conveyor when you have scrolling blocks? I harp on the negatives because they detract from a level I otherwise love. Frequent checkpoints and mystery tanks keep the difficulty.
One sec. If you need to scroll, give me a second. No. Okay. Alright, you're good. There was a message to be approved that was a spam bot, so...
Self-destructing blockchains are used innovatively. Synchronized falling rocks allow for some clever jumping puzzles. But watch your aim tower maze is satisfyingly tricky. I think a third present variant is necessary to minimize fatigue, but I like the showdown at the end of each section. Takone actually gets a chance to shine, which makes me so very happy. Elevator and scrolling spice is a fantastic combination. I never enjoyed a fight with Stompy so much. My advice...
Whoa.
My advice for next time, step up to playtesting, tighten your focus, and hang on to the design instincts and creativity. I make the best parts of this level awesome. The highest praise I can give this stage is, I think the first 2/3 of the stage are an absolute blast to play. There are a ton of very clever and very new individual challenges, despite using vanilla assets. And the best part is probably the fact that it makes use out of underutilized mechanics from the mainline games. You get a lot of mileage even out of things like Takone, and I've never seen so many easily dodged stray bullet enemies be so inconveniently well placed. Personal favorite segment is the lift area combined with the Mega Man 3 scrolling tiles. It is short, but manages to be fairly exciting and yet not too difficult. I really dig the music too. There are still some issues with this part, including potential soft locks and forced suicides. Being able to reset screens would solve both these problems. An inconsistency with spike lethality, which is more sloppy than anything. I'm not a fan of how much you encounter pressing to open doors. I understand why, but it gets a bit redundant and reduces the impact of the other mini bosses. There are just too many of the blasted things overall and really hurt the flow of the stage. The tiling is also messy in places, and so the foreground is difficult to tell apart from the background. Which doesn't help matters. It also is not easy to tell just where some of the lifts are going to stop, leaving some guesswork. Where a stage really falters, it just should have ended sooner. There are many places where it feels like the stage can end, but it just keeps going. And the further you get into the level, the less intuitive the layout gets and the worse the enemy placement is. I did like the rising lift and explosive block combo though. That makes for a great final challenge without running the explosives into the ground, although my clumsy paws did struggle to get the slide timing down. I think the parts between the edited Wonder Swan mini-boss, that lift explosive block combo, and the parts after that block combo, but prior to the boss doors, are probably the weakest parts of the stage, and I honestly think the level would have been better off not having them. I thought that final challenge was great. Oh well, it never quite pushes into the event horizon in being too long in length, but definitely skirts it. The upgraded Power Piston is a decent enough boss, but doesn't really make much use of the stage mechanics and felt out of place. Even the room it's in doesn't match the level much. Yeah, like, you don't necessarily need a boss.
Yeah, and again, the falling instant death with out of nowhere was kind of silly.
That final tower could have been a boss all by itself.
Yeah, and again, tone down the level length in the mini-bosses. That's my only complaint there. I mean, the boss having unwarned freaking instant death. The big problem is you spawn... It dropped down right where those boxes will drop down and kill you within seconds, and you don't know they're going to be there until they kill you.
The stage is really close to nailing it, and I enjoyed it. Keep it up, and with more polish in future, I'm sure your levels will be great.
Cool.
Not bad for 30th place. The other 29 levels better be amazing. Glitzwoman.
Glitzwoman!
A Spoony Bard. I know who Spoony Bard is.
The only Spoony Bard I know is actually like Spoony, although he hasn't done anything in
Spoony Bard
a decade now.
Spoony Bard OL was the winner of the first MaGMML3.
Oh. Oh! They're waiting for me, so... Whoa! Who the heck are you?
Let's in a top hat. I guess that's Glitz Woman.
Oh. Ah! Ah! That is.
Nice. Bartender, waiter Joe, I guess. Whoa! Ooh.
Oh. We lose light when it's behind the thing.
Fascinating.
Interesting. White Tiger needs health badly.
Nefermagi!
Run! Oh!
Slot machine. Yeah.
This thing has a lot of health.
Yeah.
Hey, checkpoint! Ah! Well, it got both of us.
Yeah.
Surprise! Oh, that was another plushie. I think it did. You know what? Something I'm noticing is that the better levels aren't throwing in tons of tokens for no reason, like a lot of the earlier levels are.
Good level design is just as much about what you don't do.
Yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know, like Jurassic Park. Oh,
Or aperture science. Aha!
Who are you? Aurora Woman.
They fired me just because I was late getting my boss room last year.
She was stuck in a principal's kitchen.
Whoops.
What you get for visiting Skinner when he has a dinner date. I got get out of
Actually,
here.
it was a luncheon.
Oh. A luncheon date. Either way. I still love that... not... Why did he bounce the pipe? Hit the button! Does it just do it after 3 bounces? What was that? There's not even a cat here to explain that. I love how like Skinner is just so concerned about Chalmers, but Chalmers is probably like the most chill dude for that. He probably wouldn't care. So I think that when Vinny played all those games, and one of them was like when he just admitted what happened, Chalmers is like, well, oh, okay. Hey, mistakes happen. I burnt food before too. You can just tell me. Let's go get some Krusty Burgers. Okay. Like, that's probably what would have happened, but I guess it wouldn't have been funny that way. But I guess the whole misunderstanding between boss and, like, employee is just a standard thing.
Skinner with crazy explanations. The superintendent's gonna need his medication. I forgot how the rest of that goes.
Get out of the way.
No, that's not right.
Whoa. Oh, I cannot go through that.
No.
That.
And now you work.
Darn it! That's the same place I died before, and I'm gonna do this again! That is a difficult section for like precise jumping there. That right when you got hit, I went down the hole. That was like perfect, like bad timing. Whoa. Heebity, 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 heebity. Oh, well, now it shows up.
Oops.
Lagged us.
I don't know, lag the hell with bad timing.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you want to co-op EDF6 or not, so...
If you get it, I will also get it.
Wait to get it, so...
Yeah. But I really want to play Pizza Tower and Pampas and Celine. Maybe a random.
Yeah, Pampas and Celine, it looks really nice, yeah. Pizza Tower co-op is... how does that even work?
Swap mode over Parsec.
Swap mode?
Yep. It's a secret mode you unlock after... it's a secret mode you can unlock after you beat the game as the noise.
Oh. So I gotta put in a whole buttload more work again. Eh.
No, you'll connect to me.
Oh, you already beat it as the noise?
Yeah. And you will play as the noise, and I will play as Pepino.
Well, I still need to know how his mechanics work, but...
Yes. But there's a tutorial for that.
Like, I know he can infinitely fly, basically. Snowbird Pyro has played everything. Yeah, I figured it was Chip and Dale and Darkwing Duck. I wasn't sure, though.
That top. That's adorable. Susie J.
Highly valuable jewel missiles. That's just like feeding Bastion at this point if you shoot those at him. It's like shooting Pez at him, like... Or any dragon.
Waiter Joe. He is Waiter Joe.
Like, I was actually thinking about a Scrooge man that actually uses, like, Scrooge McDuck style things. It's a straight up, like, the DuckTales background, frickin'. She is doing Scrooge McDuck attacks.
Yeah. All she needs is the pogo stick.
Oh, no. I'm going to guess this is why she lost point. Yeah. This is definitely why the level lost points. That took forever. Shield bosses you need to be balanced on.
Might want to start using Light Trident.
Sorry, I'm a Buster snob. She moves so silly. Can you drop your shield already?
Nice work.
I was getting the timing. I was actually purposely getting hit sometimes there because I was trying to get the timing down on that slide. The iframes on that is ridiculous.
Srara Met. Skull Man. It's a duplicate. Alright, Glitz Woman by Spoony Bard. Oh yeah, Spoony Bard was also a judge in MaGMML3, I think.
Huh. Can't be the same Spoony. Maybe it is? I don't know.
Robot Master stage set in a casino, not something you see every day. Glitz Woman stage is a fine experience, playing out how I'd expect a Robot Master level to go. It has a solid variety of enemies and gimmicks, both customized and familiar, and it gradually grows into a respectable endgame. Not amazing, but by no means is it bad. My favorite part is easily the enemies. I got a kick out of the Metops, and their higher aggro range offers a bit more variety in how to use them. Susie J was brilliant. There was something fun about the paranoia they created with piles of coins. And Waiter Joe was another highlight. His telegraphed attacks and unique projectiles again gave him more variety than the standard. Roulin is less interesting in comparison, but it's enough of a challenge with its accuracy that I'm happy to see it. On the dev kit side, while Diarn has an annoying tendency to show up after a risk assessment's already been made, thus throwing you off, Wall Blaster is surprisingly good. And I really like the setups with Bon Bon Boy when he appears. The gimmick side is less interesting overall, but most effective. The spring stools look interesting, and I'm surprised at how well they work. With spikes and wall blasters, even if they're infrequent. The coin dispensers are a good reskin of Drillman rocks. And the flashing telegraphs are much appreciated. The disco ball is the weirdest gimmick in the room, and I feel like it could have used one more appearance. However, both of the disco rooms are pretty fun, particularly finding a second token, and I appreciate that this isn't an assault on the eyes when it's active. Not to mention, trying to fit 3 disco balls on the stage might have made it a bit too long, so I can appreciate that restraint. In general, this is fine. The worst thing I can say about the stage is that I'm a little underwhelmed. It did something right. Sadly, the bosses leave something to be desired. Slotin is an interesting concept, but his low health and easily dodge attacks means he's no threat. What do you mean low health?
What low health? He took forever to kill! Maybe it's just because he was not...
Maybe Magnetic Shockwave is just a bad weapon to use against him.
Yeah, maybe it was only plinking him.
Even Buster Only, I've been able to dispatch him with 0 danger, which is a problem. Glitzful is a bit better, putting up a decent fight with interesting attacks. Unfortunately, RNG attacks don't mesh with her fighting style, and while she's good about getting rid of it regularly, she suffers from typical shield boss tedium. She's more interesting than normal, but shield bosses usually aren't very much fun. Not a bad stage, all things considered. There's a few things here and there to feel a bit off, but for the most part, I really enjoyed my time with this one. Starting off with the positives, I really like the general pacing of the stage. Everything gets a proper introduction and doesn't stay in hand-holding mode for very long, keeping a steady difficulty curve throughout. Granted, I did find most of the stage to be a bit on the easy side, barring maybe a few rooms here and there. But it was never easy to the point of being boring. The stage still managed to feel engaging, thanks to most of the enemy and gimmick places complementing each other, with the custom enemies in particular standing out quite nicely. Especially like the diamond shooting enemy that hides in the coins. The disco ball rooms are probably the most notable part of the level. While I'm not the biggest fan of lighting gimmicks, I didn't mind this one since it's not on any kind of timer. Plus, it's pretty easy to figure out where to move and jump to, with maybe the exception of the final token room near the end. That one might just be on me, but I feel it's very easy to miss. All that aside, we also have the matter of the bosses. The slot machine mini-boss feels a bit strange. I think that's mostly because he has boss-type invincibility frames after being hit. Even then, he seems to have pretty low HP, to the point where I didn't even get a chance to see him attack more than once during my first playthrough. Definitely feel like he could have used a buff to make him more of a threat. Especially since when he actually does attack, he only spawns one enemy and is very slow to do so. As for Glitzwoman herself, I can't really say I enjoyed her fight much, unfortunately. While her basic attacks are fine, if a little wonky, that fancy walk move of hers really threw me off. The fight starts to have issues once she uses her shield. The dive move into the shield can make her invulnerable for a good chunk of this battle, and in turn causing the fight to drag out for Buster-only players. I feel like she could have done this move with less frequency, or at the very least given the player a longer window to hit her as she jumps back up to raise the shield. That one issue aside, I didn't really have any other problems with the fight, but the sheer amount of time she can spend invincible during it really does drag it down a bit. Despite the slight fumble with the bosses, I'd still say this is a very solid stage altogether. Glistering Glitz! It's a fine stage, but it feels just a little bit unpolished at times. And for being a casino-themed stage, it didn't quite bring the theme to its full potential, I'm afraid. Maybe could have used one or two more unique gimmicks to really spice it up. I like the concept of the Waiter Joe enemies, and the Mets are really cute. Can't say the same about the Roulins. Their arcing shots can be a real pain to dodge on many occasions. They're just really irritating to deal with. The darkness section is also a bit odd, definitely not expected for a casino stage. Regardless, it is still pretty unique in execution, in that the room is only completely dark if you're positioned where the backdrops are, covering with light objects in the background. One problem that seems to show up a lot in this stage is respawning enemies on screen edges. Oftentimes there are enemies in the way, so the player's natural instinct is to move back and dodge their shots, but before they know it, they get ambushed by a Met or the Susie J from the previous screen, making the whole situation way more hectic than it should be. The darkness mechanics also often lead to that, especially for the section near the end where one of the Roulins can snipe you from off screen. I feel like the rotating platforms should have really been top solid, but they're not, and that makes escaping some rooms trickier than it should be. There's also this one jump at the end of the stage that was clearly designed as a trap, which doesn't sit well for me, considering you get sent back quite far, to the problematic portion of the stage no less. The boss is alright and simple, although a little too random at times with where she decides to jump or choose her attacks, which ends up with me being cornered more times than it should be. The credit room is neat, but it provides names for the custom enemies, makes it more convenient for the review, and the descriptions for them are cute and charming. This is a level that goes all in with the theming, takes a worthwhile gamble on several unique enemies and gimmicks, and knows when it's time to cash out. It introduces new concepts in a rapid but effective manner, combines elements in different ways, and keeps the player going with checkpoints and powers that only need a little tinkering to be ideal. Graphics look nice enough, but don't always read as intended. I had trouble discerning what Waiter Joe was supposed to be. It wasn't until the very end that I realized the dirt floors and breadcrumb piles were probably coins. I do like the little touches that offer crisper details, such as Swordman's sword in the boss chamber. I also like the visual transitions from one area to the next, which keep the backgrounds interesting and work with challenges to create a good sense of progression. I feel definite difficulty curve with the challenges, but not always a clear sense of vision. In particular, any screen with Susie J tends to immediately spiral out of control. The challenges aren't bad though. Bouncy platforms, fun, coin shoots, great telegraphing, and disco balls, cool idea, are used especially well. The mini-boss and final platform challenge are also highlights. Polish is the biggest issue for me. Slow load times, missing collision on the boss portrait, unnecessary two-way screen transitions, mildly unclear directionality at the first path split, a blink and you'll miss it entrance to the second token, Glitzman wigging out against the wall, etc. I respect a lot about this level. E.g. clearly labeled bottomless pits, the bonus rooms, the enemy bios, but I wish that respect translated into greater excitement. For my taste, there are too many moments of confusion and too many shielded enemies, but thank you for giving them a respectable resistance to Laser Trident. Glitzman straddles a few lines. It's difficult with screens filled with enemies and projectiles and death pits, and Glitz herself being a significant challenge to end on. Honestly, it's a good thing that not many things do a lot of damage. If damage values have been any higher, it probably would push the stage into frustration, but the player should get used to having very little health, as they get repeatedly barraged by a stray bullet or burrowing critter. This stage is adorable. I love all the little flourishes and details as you progress through the casino, a highlight being the neon signs and Mega Man and related items. The new enemies are obviously adorable too, but a nice touch is enemies based on their room. Dark room enemies and light room enemies choose a palette that helps them stand out more. While some of the larger pixel art is questionable, the overall package results in a good-looking level. My favorite aspect of the stage might just be the dark rooms. They may fall into the overcrowded category, but the layouts here do a good job of not to make an unintentional pun, leaving the player in the dark as to where to go to traverse. The darkness isn't the danger here, and it could have so easily been brutal. Both bosses are on polar opposite ends of the difficulty spectrum. Slotin is so easy to be basically irrelevant. The Blitz herself has some really difficult to dodge and parse attacks. Something about her movement makes life hard for the player. She's a reasonable fight, and it's fun to fight with basically Scrooge McDuck as a robot master, but she is tough. I think this stage will live and die on if it crosses the difficulty line for people. It doesn't for me, but it's a close thing. The proto.
Boost Man! Oh, there's a bunch of tokens. Uh-oh.
Ah!
I did not know you were going to try to hop on the...
Eh? Oh, yeah.
What? Zoom's still on! The boost effect was still effective, is still in effect on the ladder. That was weird. I don't think it's supposed to still be in effect there.
Yep.
That's pretty much the only reason, like, I fell to my death is because I didn't expect the boost effect to still be in effect. Weird.
I make panic sounds. They are a thing. No! Dang it.
That is going to be really hard to get into. What the heck?
At least it's just for dialogue.
Yeah, we can skip it if we want to.
But I don't mind.
It's like, that's going to be super hard to,
yeah.
get it to work right.
Yeah. Swoosh!
Thanks, Boost, for, like, zipping me off the top of my ice.
Zippity-doo-dah.
I'm not sure it's going to be worth it going for that, because that just doesn't seem to be very working well.
I'll give it a shot. You just hang out on the ladder. I'll try to give it a shot. And if I die, you can just continue.
The boost effect seems to be messing with things.
No! Ah, dang it.
No, Rush Bike is not going to help with that.
Hello there, I didn't expect too many people to make their way in here, but I'm happy to see you could at least. Thanks for taking the time to play my level. I hope it was or will be enjoyable. And while I'm thanking people, I also want to give a big thanks to my friend Laguna, who did pretty much all the coding for the custom assets in this stage. As well as Bulby for composing the music, it kind of inspired the idea for this level in the first place. Said track being the one you're listening to right now. I'm so much cooler than I have to work on the left.
Okay, that was ridiculously hard to get into for silly reasons. Oh. How long is this level going to be? If I only have one token so far.
Let's go down!
Please tell me we... Oh, that's right, we don't have that. No!
Go, go, go!
Why do I get the feeling we're gonna have to replay this level more than once? Oh yeah, we're gonna have to replay this more than once.
Or just or just do that.
Please don't do that. That is annoying.
Ooh, green boost.
Yeah, the multi-energy element has disappeared, but the multi-token routes are certainly a thing.
Nice jump.
Well, I didn't even know that was going to be like that, and I just got it anyways. Ow! Okay, let's just have a straight-up boss here.
What?
Great. Perfect. Just great.
Right in front
Thanks!
of me.
You still have the boost jump effect.
Why?
I don't know. Yay! Now you don't.
Anymore.
That was weird.
Yeah. Ooh! Ah!
Oh no.
Oops.
It turned Susie into a Charizard. Fire on the tail. Jeez. Woohoo! Boing.
I find it funny that Mega Man 9 had like two insta-kill weapons. It's an odd choice.
A Yaga log?
No, that wasn't one of them. Good luck.
Sure.
That works.
There we go. Oh!
Hurt the rush bike, baby. Hurt the rush bike, baby. Baby.
Oh no! More quick man lasers.
Ooh.
Oh, thanks for the warning about that. Let's just drop me straight in the strike pit without warning. I mean, it wasn't instant death, but it sure was pretty bad anyways.
Is that it? Looks
No.
Like,
I have no idea who you are.
He looks like a DOS robot master.
He does. He must be Boost Man. You look way too happy to be a robot master.
Nice. Meet
the team. That was a pretty simple boss, honestly.
Yeah. Boost Man. Average 72. Okay, that boost pad gimmick is some of the most fun I've had in this judging period. The base concept is simple and elegant, but the way it's used to defy pixel-perfect jumps and sail over enemies, I just love it. The level puts this core to great use, and the twist into bounce pads is a small organic shift that adds a wonderful new dimension to the level. Best exemplified by two spike corridors that start as all speed and then become all bounce, barely changing anything else between the two. Then it all culminates in a big showdown with a bunch of lasers, marrying two speed-based gimmicks for an adrenaline-pumping climax. If I had one issue to raise, it's that taking a bottom path leaves the bounce pads feeling somewhat underused in exchange for even more lasers. And the final bit with the lasers is probably enough. The enemy set may not dazzle, but is no less solid. Fire Boy and Fire Totem are exceptionally fun to dodge on the pads, and the tallest boys always give me a chuckle. Gary Obi meshes well with the gimmick, and Helipon breathes some life into otherwise unremarkable rooms. There are a few duds, namely Turbo Rotor and Jump Roller. Both of them feel underexposed, especially since there's lava for Jump Roller to play with. Moliere is also a little off in execution. It isn't underused that the Moliere's sanity is where its enemy peaks. Almost every encounter afterwards isn't as interesting. That being said, the level's main flaw is aesthetic design. I don't mind the lava cave level. Fire stage fits speed thing rather well, but red lava does not work with reddish-orange rocks. It's a good thing it's animated, because if it wasn't, the poor contrast would make it hard to tell what's safe and what's death. More importantly, there is at least one type of color blindness that blinds the difference between boosts and bounces, which makes the level far harder to play. Color coding anything is risky business in game design. If you don't have extra telegraphs, it's a dice roll as to whether or not they'll understand it. Beyond that, splitting the tokens between paths forces a retry or a needless replay to get 100%, which some might find annoying. Of course, if those are the worst mistakes the level makes, it's really not that bad off. Even professionals can struggle with accessibility details like that color issue. Outside of that, the only other off points are that the boosts behave weirdly. Oops. Combined with ladders, and that Boostman himself feels really unfinished compared to his level. Otherwise, that was quite fun. I hope to see more from you in the future. There's definitely a very fun premise in the stage, and I think it was executed to good effect, though not without a few flaws here and there. The main highlights here are the speed and jump boosters. I'm all for gimmicks that seem simple, but have a lot of utility to them, and these fit right at home with that. There's a lot of fun room and enemy synergies to be had with them, and I especially like the sections that use them in tandem with force beams. That said, I do kind of wish they were combined with more gimmicks beyond that, since they seem like they could work off the other hazards relatively well. Though I did notice the speed booster effect acts a little wonky if you jump onto a ladder with it, with the speed carrying over after detaching. But this is an extremely minor thing that you can't even really abuse. I think the only part of the stage design I actually actively find questionable is the split path. Both paths have well-designed room layouts, but the thing I take issue with is the presence of a token on each path. That means you have to take an intentional death or retry if you want to get everything here in one run. I understand this is probably meant to introduce a bit of replay value, but I've just never really been a fan of this sort of approach. Lastly, there's Boostman himself, and while I'm glad he at least shows up, his fight ends up feeling very underwhelming. He only seems to have two attacks, a Skullman-esque tracking shot and an occasional jump shot, with the only mildly threatening thing about him being this high contact damage. He definitely had the potential to be a fun fight if he had more involved attacks that fit the theme of the stage. Or if his boss area has fewer young but he and the player could use. I feel that was a big missed opportunity here. That side, I think he could also stand to be a bit less buggy. I've seen him jump out of the boss room a few times, not to mention his energy element flat out didn't spawn one time after I beat him. Overall, though, while the boss is a bit of a letdown and I'm not a fan of the tokens on the split paths, this is still a relatively fun stage with decent execution behind it. If those aforementioned aspects are polished up, I could easily see this being a top-tier Robot Master stage. Up, up, and away! Now this is a pretty fun one. I'm all for movement-enhancing gimmicks, and this stage certainly creates some good challenges out of them. The boost pad gimmicks are definitely pretty neat. They somewhat remind me of the gel types in Portal 2. The stage makes use of the pads fairly well, placing them in varied platforming stages or situations, combining this with a nice utility when combined with. Two of the tokens almost look possible to grab without using Rush with the way the pads are set up. Either it's very strict with how you jump, or I just didn't have enough patience to try them, because you're almost guaranteed to fall in the next 3 minutes and fail the jumps with no way to quickly turn back up. Boss is his design is fairly generic, and so is how he fights. He chooses 1 of 4 moves randomly. He fires 1 shot at you, fires 3 shots at you, jumps toward you and fires a shot, or a very fast boss running toward you at an incredibly high Hig speed. None of them has any clear tells, and certain combos can result in unavoidable damage, making it not a very fun and fair fight. On my initial playthrough, someone managed to clip himself out of the arena and got killed off screen, trapping in and dealing outside. Upon investigation, it seems that when Boostman turns around, his asymmetric hitbox can get inside the wall. And the game pushes him to the other side of the wall. This level is fine. Length and checkpoints are fine. Difficulty and challenge progression are fine. The music has a few funky instrument choices, but it's fine. Lava pool backgrounds make the floor look higher than it is. Laser lines are helpful but obtrusive. And the tilework and architecture are a bit blocky, but the animations are nice and the level overall looks fine. Boss fight and boost pads have a few programming kinks, but they're fine. Fine, fine, fine. I don't want fine. I want thrilling, surprising, inspired. This level has a lot of cool ideas and good design elements, but I find myself fixated on the parts that could be done better. The purposeful learning curve is disrupted by a path split that leaves the player only half prepared to deal with the final stretch. Some screen transitions allow unnecessary backtracking or drop the player into a mulligan encounter with almost no time to react. Most tokens are sitting out in the open that they're really clever secrets, and a trick with jump boost and tornado blow that could have been used. I don't understand how boosting pertains to Earth and some sort of narrative explanation or aesthetic connection would go a long way. Boost pads need more than color to tell them apart, and it's a letdown that they're silent. Activation sound effects would enhance the atmosphere. Boostman himself needs boost pads in his chamber, or perhaps some attacks or animations that look and feel properly boosty, distinguishing him from any other boss who runs, jumps, and shoots. What I like the most is how simple yet versatile the boost pads are. The mini-bosses are a particular highlight. I also like that the architecture is attentive to where lava rivers and ceiling holes come from. That's the kind of stuff I want to see more of. Fun little stage. And the 2 paths are a rare example where both paths feel equally well baked and justified in their existence. And I always appreciate the restraint of not forcing another exit on the player. Nope, they can just pop in the alternative room, get the token, beat the mid-boss, and exit. Good. One path has reasonable force beams, the other gets more mileage out of the green jump pads. I particularly feel about the latter portion of the stage introduced its assets out of nowhere, and both previous paths felt natural. The boost and jump pads are a novel idea. It's so simple, like Capcom hasn't made use of them yet. And despite being so simple, it's well taught too, mostly. But the one thing that sells them is keeping the player's momentum. I haven't seen this much at all in Classic. Reusing the former Fortress boss Power Piston as a mid-boss has enough changes, namely the lack of hit invulnerability, makes him feel like he fits, and the jump pads help it make it not feel like a filler refight. I don't think I can say quite the same for Stonehead. The boost pads don't really alter the fight in any real way, other than maybe reduce the difficulty. Oh well. I have to question the checkpoint placement after the mid-bosses. It's rather far after them, and the rooms leading to it are pretty dangerous, and the player is probably at low health at this point, so a tad punishing. Graphically, the stage makes good use of its dev kit assets to assemble a new level. The caverns are a bit trite at this point, just a bit more personality would have helped. But I appreciate the little animation it was given. And it isn't just another Quickman looking level rehash. The level song is catchy though, I'll give it that, it suits it. I do feel Boostman could have done more with more work. Nothing other than his walk speed suggests he's, well, Boostman. His projectiles are generic and he's lacking any real personality. He's not a bad boss by any stretch, but he is rather underwhelming. Overall, I like the stage a fair bit. Feels like a solid Mega Man 4 era level. Good job. I need water.
That's a weird thing to put in a review. I need water. Wait, who is PMing me? Who is this? Oh, it's a spam bot. Sorry, spam bot. I do not accept your requests. Well, in the meantime, we have Smeepy Husky Puppy. Well, Husky Mute Puppy. She doesn't seem to have very much Malamute. I think she's still the. I think she is the purebred Husky that the cops talked to me about that was stolen. But she was going to be used for dogfighting bait, which is disgusting. That's why she was like locked up in a yard all her life and was neglected. Then a coworker stole her from his uncle, who was part of the ring. And he couldn't handle her and gave her to me. And the breeder, if that is the missing Husky puppy, she's just glad that she has a home. So hey, otherwise she would have gotten bigger if she was a Malamute. Well, she is a pain. You can see. You see that fluff? That is because she tore up the armrest, the couch. Huskies are a pain in the butt normally, but I know how to handle them. Hell, I have a wolf. But neglected, abused Huskies? Well, actually, I know about abused Huskies because Mishka was abused as a puppy because she came from a Petland breeder. But her? She's a new level of pest. Aren't you a pest? You winked at me. You know what? She winked at me. She knows. She knows. She's still a puppy. She's only just a year old, so she'll get better. I mean, Mishka was a pain in the butt until she was like 2. Right, Luna? Are you a pest? Yeah, you. She nodded! She gave a nod! She knows, and now she's wagging her tail. Whoops. She knows. She knows she's a pest. Michael, are you a pest?
That ain't good. Hello?
You missed it. I was talking about Luna and how she is a pest, and she did a nod. She winked and she nodded. It's like she knows. She knows.
Puppy, please.
What are you doing? Come here.
I ain't doing that.
There we go. There we go. I know. You are a gigantic pest and you annoy the hell out of me, but you'll be a good girl once you finally get over this stuff.
Poor.
Hmm? Come on. Yes, I know. Get down, please. Can you get down? No. Get down. No, down. Down. Good girl. I got a game to play.
Ooh,
oh, this is a favorite level.
Spectrum Science. Ace Sparks Bronze Favorite by Spin Attacks.
That is the weirdest teleport sound ever.
Hello, visitors. Welcome to Research Facility of Spectrum Science, world's leader in laser and light refraction technology. Our facility is perfectly safe, and all research goes toward bettering life with you and your neighbor. Please look around, and after witnessing our technology in action, Spectrum Science, every laser helps.
I sworn I heard this before. Mega Man 8 teleporters. I know that I'm a SS, huh? Ah! Oh. I didn't expect it to come from that end immediately.
Prison Joe.
Oh.
Ooh.
Interesting. Whoa.
Ice wall. Maybe. Whatever.
So
maybe
look
you
at all
charge up breakdash there.
Yeah, but ice wall disappears when you switch weapons.
Oh. I don't know then.
Ah!
Ow. Oh no, I'm dead.
Oh, I almost got it. I almost got you through.
Let's do the right. Important notice to all employees. Lately, Prison Woman has expressed a desire to visit the beach outside the facility. Please remember that due to construction of her prism armor, she is prone to unintentionally refracting sunlight into dangerous high-powered lasers. As such, she is not to leave the facility under any circumstances. Thank you and have a nice day. Oh boy.
And what's something bad with his That was a weird glitch.
I got my order.
That is really hard to dodge. Bastion using his light scales when he gets full dragon form, accidentally like igniting things around him with the refraction. Ah!
Warning, this entrance is a highly restricted area. Due to dangerous research conducted beyond this point, only personnel with proper clearance and robots with authorized energy signatures such as Prism will be admitted. Oh, we got two.
We have a very multi-way path. You want to go up and... Alright, we'll go up. Okay.
Okay. Oh. How about no?
Ow.
Oh, Magnet Beam can block them, maybe. Nice.
Oh, there's dialogue here.
I asked him if I could go out to the area outside the facility. He said I can't, ever. Apparently too dangerous to let out. You must be right. I'm okay. Okay. Not okay, I'm crushed. It's not fair. Everyone else looks happy. Why can't I be happy? Look at this terminal. There appears to be rust over the keyboard. After a long day of research, I saw something on TV. It was a girl walking somewhere with sand and water next to the sunset. And it was beautiful. I'd love to go there. She seemed happy being there. I don't think I've ever really felt happy being in here. All steel walls and darkness unless I'm in an experiment. I've heard some researchers talk about a place just outside here that sounds like that place. I hope I can go there someday. Yes, I really hope I can stop experimenting on Crystal 800 soon. That thing gives it the creeps like it's alive and thinking about me or something. I met the most wonderful man last night. He said he could let me visit the beach anytime I wanted if I did him a small favor. First. I didn't feel comfortable with what he asked me to do at first, but he gave me an adorable little microchip. He said if I put it in me, I wouldn't feel so bad about doing it. So I did. Truthfully, I don't think I've seen him around here. But he has a lab coat, so he must work here. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Besides, it did feel nice chasing all those mean spoil sports out of the building. I don't think I'll displace until he comes back. I don't know why he wants to destroy anyone else that comes in here, particularly anyone in... But he must have his reasons. Besides, I'm too giddy to wait till I can get out of here and learn what sunlight feels like.
Oh, jeez. Somebody bashed into it, totally rescue. That does a good job of already making you feel for her. That's some good writing. Oh, well. Oh, we need to use both of them. Nice. I actually do like this, yeah.
Oops. And I got crushed.
Hibbity hobble, frickin' at the bar. Give me that. I can fit me.
Is that so? Am I rubbing off on you?
I mean, I've always kind of made weird noises with the stuff, but yes, that's... I'm trying to improve my streaming with silly, I don't know. Haga! Stop it. Ooh. Ah, it's going to be a rough jump, wow.
It's okay, you have me with you now. Ow.
Ow! Just immediately shoot. Rush!
Oop! I got crushed again.
Oh. You must defeat Metal Gear.
Metal Gear? Ah!
That's the other game I want to play too, or maybe stream someday. Unmetal. I don't know if you saw any.
Nope.
Okay. I guess I need to wait for that longer. It's like a Metal Gear parody, and it's just absolutely nonsensical, silly. Vinny was playing it. Like, you get to choose your own path and answer. Like, it's like not Snake being interviewed about stuff he went through, and you can answer in any way that affects the gameplay. Like, you were fighting, like, man-piranha hybrids? Where did those even come from? And then you could just choose, like, mad science, or a woman was very lonely and fell in love with a piranha. It's just, it changes how the game does things, so, like, the puzzles and everything, challenges you have to deal with. Ah! Tom! No! Jeez, the section keeps getting this. Sheba. Herbert, Ah. It's kind of a hard level, but
Yeah.
the new mechanics and stuff are definitely an interesting thing. that beam is ridiculously hard to dodge, regardless. Wah, wah. I hit the jump button. I'm getting ready to just, like, use a magnet beam or something to get through that. That section is, like, really annoying. Darn Dr. Wily sign. Must be a very, like, sharp sign.
Oops. Why did I do that?
This is gonna be hard. Hopefully I don't need to keep this thing going across the entire... Oh no, there's no way I can. Ah! This room is awful! This room really sucks! I don't like this room. This is ridiculous. The checkpoint is so far back, too. Man, that is going to be really rough to deal with.
Yep, my turn.
Really?
I guess.
Like, I like the mechanics of this, but the level is ridiculously hard. I see a token down there. I really hope we don't have to play this level for the other token.
We have to play it for the other element.
Oh no. Amatsu, you lied! Ooh! Ah! Long gone? We have one that is here. That is super annoying. No! I really wish this slide iframe would have more iframes than it does. It is really picky about when it wants to go off. It's got like what, 1 or 2 frames for it to go off? It's kind of... that's worse than Dark Souls. Oh, so much damage!
No, just wait.
Oh, that enemy is... that is the most dickish enemy placement in a long time. Holy crap. Yeah, just watch out. There's going to be an enemy that's just designed to be an asshole there. Yep, see? That is an absolutely... And there's still no checkpoint after this. The gimmick is interesting, but I don't think I like this level. Got bad checkpoint abuse again. Like, you got an interesting mechanic. First 3 frames is still really small. That's less than Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter has very low iframes. And I'm an iframe like Hunter in frickin' Monster Hunter. Oh, I was trying not to slide into that. Oh, ow. What is even going to come after this room if we're not even at a checkpoint yet? I'm already worrying about asshole-ish enemy placement. Oh, let's just... I do not like this level at all. This is getting pretty bad. This is getting really, like,
how
ridiculous.
How did this level get this high up?
I don't know. I don't know. It is super long. It has it's got bad checkpoints. I mean, the mechanic is nice, but like this section is just awful. Some more checkpoints would be nice. And why the dickish enemy placement? Like, you can't really... Even knowing it's going to show up there, you can't really...
Oh, right. I can't ride your bike. Go, go, go! Worth.
Screw the rules, I'm using Rush Bike. Not very often you can say that, but... That section is not worth the pain.
At least that was the final challenge of the level, apparently.
Well, no, it's not, because we have to go back and play the other route.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Interesting. Ow! What is with the amount of damage she does is absurd! That is so hard to dodge. Oh, you're gonna do it more than once now. What? I don't know how this got this high. Is the other route just better than this one? Like, I like the ideas behind some of the mechanics and all that, but some of this is, like, way overkill. I mean, maybe Ace Spark just likes really freaking hard levels?
Maybe Ace Spark just likes rainbows. Shh. Victory!
That...
Fireman duplicate.
That sure was...
Doing this again, I
thing.
guess.
And now do it again, yeah. Like, I like the mechanic and idea behind it, but the execution has a lot to be desired here.
I gotta do the thing again.
Like, you can place the enemies there, but don't be, like, super dick about it. Like, place them back a little further so they still provide a challenge without being, like, complete, like, game over and super hard to avoid. Yay, lag, I guess. Luna.
Okay, yeah, maybe that was a little mean.
What?
Saying Ace Sparkle likes this level because he likes rainbows. Now you made me say it again. Congratulations. Wah!
No, I think, if anything, it's because of the mechanic and, like,
Dude.
maybe the boss battle stuff?
I mean...
Mechanic is interesting,
are pretty
it's just...
cool, yeah.
Yeah, the gimmicks are cool, it's just... Things are, like, kind of overkill.
Down, Crystal 800 Research Lab. Okay.
Metroid music, huh? This is Metroid, isn't it?
No.
It's not?
Well, if it's not Metroid 2, it's not Metroid. I just lagged the heck out.
So did I.
There.
What do you mean if it's not Metroid 2, it's not Metroid what?
I mean, it's definitely not Metroid 1. And there weren't any other 8-bit Metroid games.
Sounds like Metroid music.
It's not. Ah! I'm stuck. Ah! Ah! Oh no. Oof. That didn't go very well. Ugh. This is awful. Help.
What is... Whoa, that was super laggy. I couldn't even move.
Eh?
What?
Oh.
This is not a fun time.
This is a bad level.
Oh my god, this is such a pain in my ass. What?
Why isn't the mirror working? Or the prism? Why isn't the prism working?
I don't know. Now it is!
Project 8 Black 0 Refract 0 Log 3 Crystal 800 discovered in the Arctic wastelands 3 weeks ago by a Siberian branch has arrived without incident. It has displayed unusual properties. It resembles a handcrafted statue of an unknown being. Its molecular structure doesn't match any known terrestrial element and it refracts light despite being pitch black. Further research on how we can adapt these properties into our technology, particularly for military purposes, will commence. Computer.
Oh. I guess the iframes don't work on those.
Log 60. The robot master reverse engineered from Crystal 800 down in Prism Woman is nearing completion. Her armor and weapons have proven to be just as effective at refracting light with high-powered lasers as Crystal 800. R&D3's Ultra Prism prototypes have proven similarly effective in testing. Weapons Research Management has discussed the potential use of both in warfare, but Prism Woman's developers have vehemently argued against both it and the continued study of Crystal 800. Nonetheless, both the mass production of the photonic tank and the development of another combat robot based on Crystal 800 have been authorized.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't want to keep going through this. Oh no! Oh, this level needed a skip gate.
Yes, it did.
Holy crap, did this level need a skip gate? What? I do not want... Oh! There's so much going on, it completely lags out the system. Like, it's like slow-mo mode. Did that happen to you too?
Yeah.
Luna, what are you doing? Well...
Project of Frat 9 Prison Broom in the road fired 2,000 trillion watt laser into Crystal 800 is alive. Woke up in violently devastated facility. Its refracted lasers are more powerful than any known to exist. If it escaped, humanity is extinct with 2 days. Can anything stop this monster we unwittingly discovered?
Oh, they do slow us down? I thought it was lag. There's no warning that that's what they do. It just felt like lag. Where is this last... Oh, Gremlins 2 music, okay. This is the Gremlins 2 final boss music. The giant spider gremlin. I want to play Gremlins 2 again. I still remember the code for the last level that I found completely by accident when I was a kid. It's NXRD. I don't know how I still remember that when I'm in my 40s. I played it when I was like 5. Not 5, it was like 8 probably.
It's like how that's not like how I discovered the password for the end game of Radical Rescue.
Gremlins boss music sounds like a Shining Force music. Token!
Project 80 Black 0 Refract 0. Log 87. While experimenting on Crystal 800 today, following the successful test run of the Prism Devil, Prism Bone collapsed in a way emulating a human falling unconsciousness. When she came to, she said she had several sharp pains in her diodes. R&D is baffled by this unprogrammed quirk, not helped by her inability to remember what precisely caused the incident. The only thing she could remember for no clear reason was the word necrozma.
Oh no! We're going Pokemon with this?
Oh boy.
Take over the poor kitty! Bastion will not allow this. This looks so nice on the outside. What's going on down here?
With
the Pokemon all suddenly out of nowhere. It is the Crosswell! What is that thing? Prison Woman, those tanks, that devil, this is what all those were based on? If this was Riker, he'd beat it up and like make it part of his team, but hey, let me out. You just smacked me with that tennis ball in the knee.
Luna.
She is flinging that thing around like crazy, like a flail, and just smacked me right in the kneecap with that.
Puppy. What are you doing, puppy? Huh? Elect beam.
This is Ultra Sun and Moon stuff. Well, it doesn't have like the actual like full like Necrozma thing that I know of yet. I mean, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is the one that cemented as Getsus as like the worst bad guy. Like even Giovanni was like, "You need to die. You are an asshole." Considering he was trying to kill what's-her-name from Sun and Moon, there's Getsus was like even frickin' Lily. Even Cyrus hated him. And Cyrus is just, you know, grim dark man for no. Cyrus is he's regal basically. Hey, that wasn't that bad. Why was that boss easier than the... Okay. All my pain is refracted. Yeah, look at the fun factor. I agree there.
What's with the 89?
A-Spark is the only one... Well, yeah, 2 people like this all. A-Spark, yeah, okay. I don't know. I think the level went way overboard with some of that stuff. Like, I can appreciate a difficult level, but oh my god.
Oh, this place definitely likes its flashy rainbow lasers. Still, this is pretty entertaining, and it makes good use of its pieces. The gimmick set was a highlight. The ring platforms are not only well used, but they feel infinitely more appropriate here than they did in Ringman stage. Various laser prisms are just plain fun to work with, although they can be a bit inconsistent. And the force beams are distinct and fun. I wouldn't have guessed Foolie would work well with force beams, but here we are. Speaking of Foolie, the dev kit enemies are particularly solid. Generally solid, particularly with the Kone getting something to do or Fukuhorn using all of its behaviors. I did find the Prism enemies a little dull by themselves. Prism Joe was a generally boring concept, though. I appreciate him being less bulky. Prism Antagonist because it really didn't get to do enough. Oh, whoa. With its counterattack. Luna. Still, they work well with the Prism gimmicks, and the Bunbies are adorably silly, so I can't complain too much. Overall, this was a treat to play. The first element really feels like a Robot Master stage. The gimmicks were used smoothly, the difficulty curve flowed solidly, it all felt authentic. First moving Prism was a little annoying compared to its cohorts, but that's not a huge deal. The second element had a poor start since you have to replay the first half of the level to access it. However, the thematic shift in the Force Beam challenges made up for it, creating a natural extension to the stage that led to a solid ending. The Diamond token could be a chore due to the finicky prisms, but that was the only real issue in the second itself. Finally, we have boss fights. Whoops. For the main route, Prism Woman is both entertaining and challenging, and I appreciated both her combat form and her characterization. Props to her character not getting in the way either. On the other route, Prism Devil was an awesome devil boss, managing to be way less tedious than the norm. And considering he was a fake-out rather than the actual boss, I appreciate that he still gave me something worthwhile with the 5th token. Didn't feel like the fake-out cheated me out of an ending. As for the final boss, my eyes went wide when I heard that Hyper Beam sound. I haven't followed Pokemon much after X and Y nearly put me to sleep, same. But I knew full well it was coming even before I read the file with its name. The Krozma made an excellent climax. It was fair, challenging, and altogether very imposing. I'm also extremely glad we didn't see Ultra in the Krozma, because between that thing's OP-ness and the level's length, it would have had no place here. 3 bosses and 2 elements is plenty, and the Krozma ended things on a gameplay high note. Overall, this was pretty great. I'm not going to say it was my absolute favorite, but I don't have a lot of complaints either. This is easily the best of all the multi-element levels in the contest, so it definitely did something right. No.
What? I don't think so.
Of all the songs I was expecting to hear across this contest, Artificial Intelligence Bomb wasn't one of them. At least not in the context of a level that plays itself completely straight. So on that note, you already get kudos for taking a song I've only ever heard and used in conjunction with memes, and now making me associate it with this stage right here. As far as the level itself goes, it's a pretty involved laser theme one with a lot going for it. Chief among these is the Prism gimmick, as it's designed to work off several things at once, such as other gimmicks and even your own shots. Having it act as both an obstacle and a helpful tool to bust down certain walls gives a lot of utility as the level's main hook. I did notice a bug, as some prisms will keep firing lasers for duration they're being pushed by the force beams, and this is supposed to be an intentional feature, it's an inconsistent one. That aside, I don't really have an issue with how they function. With that in mind, the stage takes really good advantage of all the way prisms work. While some of the segments do feel like they tread similar ground, after a while there's still enough variation here to keep things fresh and engaging. Both the Rainbow platforms and the Mega Man 9 lasers see what's arguably their best usage here than any other stage across this contest, especially when the Prism gimmick gets involved. Enemies are a bit of a mixed bag though. Prism Joes and the new Shield Attacker variants aren't exactly all that interesting in the grand scheme of things, especially since the latter's counterattack is
what are
really
you doing annoying me so much?
Gakone still manages to be threatening and can trigger the prisms, although I would have liked to see more than one instance of this. And the Bunby catchers, okay, I got a decent laugh when I saw them carrying the Wily logo around. Safe to say they're not meant to be serious, which is fine. There's one last aspect to this stage that, admittedly, I found
Stop being a pest.
The optional bosses are far, far easier than the main one. I can somewhat understand that from the perspective that you're fighting one boss after the other, and it could end up being a slog if both were incredibly difficult fights. Even so, both the Prison Devil and the Necrozma are a bit too simplistic with their attacks, to the point where I didn't get much enjoyment out of either of their fights. By comparison, Prison Woman is far more interesting thanks to having more involved attack patterns, along with a phase transition that adds new ones on top of that. She definitely ends the stage on a high note, making for an overall pretty enjoyable level. SS Not a Ship Lab Ship. The stage has a neat central theme, being about prism and lasers. The theming is very creatively implemented into existing enemies, though I have a few moments where I still don't quite understand how the prism blocks work, particularly when it decides that it will fire a charged laser. I think it has to do with whether or not the Mega Man 9 laser is connected to it. It's not quite intuitive, and that can be a problem for your main gimmick. You could also use a more distinctive appearance for the face where the laser fires. The Wily signs are funny creatures. Don't know why, but it's just a funny concept to me where the whole purpose of a robot is used for poorly vandalizing logos. Prism Woman is a fine fight. Not too complex, but pool of attacks, just a bit unforgiving with the damage value. I like it overall, and she serves as an excellent bookend for the main stage. Then comes the second element. I'd have liked this entry more if only the first part existed. It's colorful, with energetic music to boot. All that got thrown out the window and turned on an absolute 180 in the atmosphere. The time-slowing enemy and quick laser together is a really nasty combo. Together with the prison block serving as on-the-fly, think-fast puzzle solving, it's too much. Even if it's only lasting a few rooms, it was truly a miserable experience. Not as bad as the last room of the first route.
Yeah, that was the enemy placement. See, it was mostly the enemy placement where you would just have those frickin' shield attackers just fly in and the worst possible moments to frickin' kill you.
The Devil Lake boss is alright. Goofy design contradicting the area aside. Fights well enough as a mini-boss, as it's supposed to be a fake-out for the real boss of the area, which is none other than the Necrozma? Weird crossover moment. 1.5 health bar, it still hits you like a truck. Given that most of its attacks are dependent on your position at the time, it's somewhat manipulatable, but I was feeling pretty sour after going through the quick laser segments. The entry as a whole just left a bad taste in my mouth. I appreciate a level with mood-setting music, professional-looking custom graphics, and a well-told story. I like to see novel gimmicks used in creative ways, especially when there are unique interactions with special weapons. I enjoy sight gags, ominous background details, eye-catching set pieces, and other little things that add character. I respect when Robot Master designs are diverse and inclusive. There's so many reasons why I should love this level, but one element lets it down for me, and it's the one I care about most, gameplay. While most of the early challenges are introduced well, minus the out-of-nowhere shield attackers, late-level laser puzzles can be baffling at first because there's so much going on, architecturally, graphically, and gimmickally. Despite the explanatory signs, it's unclear what actually unlocks the gate to the alternate path, or if it's unlocked at all. Wait, you had to unlock that? Huh.
What? We did?
I guess we just got lucky going up first.
I guess?
I thought up was the path to the second element, honestly.
No, up was the normal path.
Yeah.
So we unlocked it, then the second time, I didn't even know you needed to unlock it.
Individual challenges are pretty decent, but they frequently feel out of order. Even though checkpoints are at regular intervals, they're never where I need them. By the end of the level, I don't feel like I've mastered any of the gimmicks. Until closely reviewing my recordings of the level, I was convinced the prisms are wildly inconsistent in their behavior. I could spend a whole paragraph elaborating on this, but most of it comes down to how things are and aren't communicated with graphics and sound, with the rest attributable to programming complications. One thing I will say is that the movable prisms probably should have taken more programming cues from the Mega Man 9 Spike Pusher fight. The bosses are solid though. Prism Woman is challenging. The Necrozma is easier than expected but memorable. Prism Devil feels authentically Capcom. Skipping a dialogue on a retry is thoughtful. With some reorganizing and tidying, this could be awesome. Oh, I like this level. You want to make a laser-themed level, and by golly, this is a laser-themed level. Firstly,
Regal is furiously upvoting this level.
Firstly, fantastic teaching here. And first encounters with gimmicks and enemies are minimalist, and thus the player quickly picks up what is needed to know. I'm also a big fan of just how useful and interactive the weapons are with these gimmicks. It allows for some useful skips or alternative methods of bypassing challenges. And that is very welcome on return visits or after a few deaths. In a contest where many have arbitrarily limited the player's options by disabling weapons, out of some fear the players may, shock, horror, use their arsenal to bypass challenges like any other Mega Man game. Embracing it goes a long way to making a level replayable and rewarding. For the most part, this all just works. It's got a nice take on Shield Attacker, and the Prism Joe being more a stage obstacle than a time-consuming enemy single-handedly makes me regard him kindly. By the end, combinations are interesting, and the primary path does not outlive its welcome. It's also very pretty to look at. This is a good-looking level, with enough flair and just enough rotated color palettes to be interesting. The reused official tiles mesh well with the new stuff. If I had to nitpick something graphically, and this is a nitpick, I am not a fan of scaling objects. This results in the primary lasers used throughout looking very out of place. Also, of the 3 bosses, only Prism Woman looks like she fits. The other 2 look fairly amateurish and ill-fitting in a level that otherwise looks very professional. Some issues I take with the stage. The alternative path is decidedly weaker than the primary one. Nothing feels fresh here, it just exists to pad out with 2 new bosses. But at least it doesn't detract from the level, a rarity in multi-element stages. On the main path, the penultimate long dark room with the pit is probably the worst designed area in the level. It often feels like things are just placed in the right location to screw over the player. And yet you gave it an 89.
So she agrees with us on that area being the worst. I mean, okay.
Being a dark background means the primarily black crystal wall and shield attackers blend in, resulting in a few gotcha moments as the player easily bonks into a solid object or gets knocked into the pit by an enemy, just as the floor wipes itself underneath. Some more leeway with where the player can safely would have gone a big way here. Can safely what? Did you accidentally a word?
They were trying to mention something but got knocked into a pit by a shield attacker.
Let's finally talk bosses. The Devil is really good, fun patterns, and frequently open to damage. I wonder if it could have just replaced the somewhat dull Trihorn on the main path. Frankly, I don't think it added anything to the stage. The dullest Break's boss from the 5th Game Boy game is just obnoxious to fight Buster only, and not even a threat if you use weapons. Prism Woman is close to being fantastic, but I do feel her sound effects and visual tells are very distinct from when they activate. This alone made her hard to battle. It's a shame too, because she feels so close to being great. And then there's the... I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Pokemon boss. I've had it since confirmed it is a Pokemon, Necrozma. I'm not at all familiar with the games. It's probably the easiest of the 3 main bosses, but also the most fun. I had a blast fighting it. Excellent graphical and audio tells all around. Some really cool attacks, and I felt the urge to try and best this thing Buster only no damage. Highly to the level, even if I don't know what it's doing here. Overall, well done. This is probably one of my favorite stages.
Okay, Stalk shoots and leaves.
I
mean,
I guess we're doing more leveling.
Do you want to? I mean, we still got 20 minutes here. Depends on if you want to or not. We need a palate cleanser after that. Well, hopefully it's a palate cleanser. Oh! I actually like that the dragonflies take less damage to kill now.
Ooh.
Ooh, this is like Ass Libra frickin' music going on here. Well, the Ass Libra DLC at least. I like the bamboo clock enemies here. Those are neat.
Oh yeah, they're actually called deer scares.
Bunnies.
Bunnies where?
We just beat one up.
Oh. Oh yeah, there's a bunny.
Uh-oh. Got bambooed. Uh-oh.
Heh. Where? Down. Okay. Nice. see.
Ah!
What was that? We're trying to... Aw, that doesn't work. Okay.
So how...
I can't get down.
Break that through the laser. Oh, okay.
Huh.
Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. Oh, ah! Well, not when it lags and kills me. You might want to use the thing.
Yeah, okay. Oh.
Oh no. Oh.
Oops. Of course it vanishes because I use an E-tank. Yeah!
That is pretty crazy,
Okay, and
challenge
Ice Wall...
with that.
Alright, Ice Wall crushes bamboo. Good to know.
Oh! We're gonna have to restore energy tanks after this. Ow. Oh! I got lagged by you respawning. Oh well.
Oh, jeez. What?
They are the more advanced, like Mega Man 2 ones or something. Or they showed up in a later game. I don't remember.
Ooh, we got the Jewel Man dollar spinners. Reskin his bamboo seeds or something.
Beyblade, or Let It Rip, or something? I don't know. Even though the only game that has included Beyblade has been Eiyuden Chronicles. I still need to finish beating that.
Wait, what? It had like a Beyblade minigame?
Yes, and it annoyed the shit out of me because it was awful. The Eiyuden minigames are not exactly great at all, unfortunately.
Oh, those aren't even enemies. Ugh.
That's a lot of damage they do.
Go!
The only one who can go is you.
I'm trying! You verb! Ah, what?
The only one that go is Oh yeah, I am still noticing that the M tanks are not like increased. Does not seem to work.
Yeah, that's an issue.
It is. I don't know if it's because we're multiplayer or what's going on, but
it is a 3-story.
Golden Bunny. Ow! Quit shooting me.
Woo! Down we go. No!
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of co-op that the extra M-tanks aren't working or what. Uh-oh.
Oh, look, it's Yamato Man.
I was gonna say we're gonna have Deer Girl from recent memes, but this game is not recent enough. I mean, it just came out, but it's not recent enough to have that meme. Oh god! Ah, this
Victory!
is that boss was actually kind of got way too much going on.
Alrighty, that was a good level.
Tsuchinoko Noko Noko Tentan or something like that. Yeah, it was a nice level. The boss was kind of ridiculous with all the shit going on, but outside of that, it wasn't bad.
If there's one thing this place...
in the previous level!
If there's one thing this place has, is a whole lot of bamboo. This bamboo jungle starts off nicely. The spinning stalks are a simple but highly effective gimmick, and they combine well with the Sozu cannons. The tiny bamboo works very well as HP boost for combat scenarios, and the growing plant spikes are an effective deterrent with an awesome intro. The explosive moles are a bit weird, and the yellow rabbits are horrifically underutilized, but the level is otherwise really solid, at least at first. Unfortunately, while the first half of the level is phone.
No, you can let Lakota play with the tennis ball too, for crying out loud. Uh-oh. Coders, you're peeing everywhere! What the heck? Get outside, hurry up! Jeez, Luna, what did you do to, like, knock the piss out of him? Literally.
Okay, anyway. Unfortunately, while the first half of the level is great, the second half almost completely drops off the radar. It's not the bushes. Those are a neat idea, though I wish there was a way to
He's
tell
an old
the difference
man.
between
Can't get mad at him for
regular ones and the ones that spawn enemies prior to them firing. Rather, the main path is basically an afterthought. It pulls all of the cool introductions in the first half with some neat platforming, and then there's just a whole lot of basic combat, which feels uninspired, but one time it steps away from that, the double bush bamboo run has a very annoying timing. As a result, the main path is kind of a dud. Thankfully, the token challenges do what the main level doesn't. Putting aside the fancy ice wall puzzle, this climb to the second token feels like an actual climax. Puts the bamboo to more direct use of the climbing section. Uses the falling leaves as a challenge and fair obstacle, and uses the plant spikes as a fair punishment you can recover from. It's much more interesting than the original path, and makes that final combat more palpable as a wind down if you choose to take the downward path. The final token is in a similar boat, more interesting than the main path, though the sheer amount of spinner spam can be irritating and more or less guarantee a hit. Either way, these stick out a lot more in the main path, which leaves me genuinely thinking one or more of the paths should have been cut. As for the boss, Bamboo Yamato Man is an excellent evolution of the actual Yamato Man. He has an excellent attack variety and pulls off being a fair and fun challenge. I also kind of like how you can't just prepare a charge shot for an easy first blood, since you have to blow up his relaxation Sozu first. All in all, he ends things on a high note. I have to admit, I initially left this stage with very mixed feelings on it. It's certainly an interesting level, one with a lot of fun concepts going forward. The execution, however, leaves a lot to be desired. The beginning of the stage has some solid structure to it. Everything gets a proper introduction, with the room layouts afterwards offering some interesting setups that play to the gimmick and enemy strings without feeling overwhelming. For now, at least. The Shishi Odoshis feel like a more threatening version of the crazy cannons thanks to how they're used, while the lotus flowers are effectively motion-activated spikes. While there's perhaps not very original, there's still a ton of things you can do with that idea alone. While things do get a bit more hectic once the leaf spawners enter the picture, you can still mostly ignore them by using the water shield. That aside, the only major nitpick I have for the main path of the level is that it feels rather short. Trying to get all the tokens here in one go definitely extends things, so it feels like a more proper stage link, but once you already have them, it feels like the main path ends a bit too early. Speaking of the tokens, that's where the majority of the stage starts to creep up. The first one, you okay? You okay?
Yes. I just stepped on something that was a sand spur that the dogs brought in.
I actually found the process of getting that token to be pretty enjoyable. The whole puzzle note with using Ice Wall isn't all that difficult to figure out, but it does showcase some versatility with the gimmicks here, well, with your weapons bouncing off of and being cancelled out by specific obstacles. It also is strangely much more involved than the other two, both of which are behind rather annoying gauntlets. The second token in particular is where most of my grievances come from. I really don't like platforming segments where getting hit once is basically guaranteed to either kill you or reset a good chunk of your progress. It's essentially what the second token room is in a nutshell, unless you're really abusing Water Shield or Magna Beam. Meanwhile, the room following that, which leads to the final token, is crammed with so many enemies and hazards, it's almost not worth trying to tackle it normally. As again, getting hit is pretty much guaranteed either way.
Oh,
Besides all
water
of that,
beam blocks that laser? Huh.
It blocks the leaves.
Oh.
Besides all of that, we also have the end boss. While I get the idea here, I don't think Green Yamato Man needed a smaller playing field to make things harder. Mostly due to how frequently he can spawn those bamboo barricades. He does have some interesting attacks, but he can also end up killing you very quickly thanks to how much space his moves cover, which kind of ruined a bit of my enjoyment. Overall, there's definitely a solid foundation here. It's just that most of the token path, and to an extent the boss, soured things a bit. Oh, shoot! Quite impressive with all the different bamboo theme gimmicks. I especially like the bamboo shoots that grow into deadly bamboo spikes. The Robbit that triggered one of the spikes initially was a very clever way to demonstrate their deadliness. The ice wall puzzle is fantastically executed, giving you the ammo supply and easy to reset. Also told me the interaction between it and the bamboo shoots. Very neat. The main problem I have with this stage is that a few rooms just feel kind of lacking. Straight pass with a bunch of shooters and falling leaf enemies wasn't all that engaging. Another problem room was with the falling leaves and jumping through the thin, sinking bamboo platforms. I don't think that's really doable without the help of special weapons. I like the little bonus drop room with the screws you have to race for before they fall too deep. We just kind of fell right through that one. Bamboo Yamato Man is a neat fight. His attacks are nicely telegraphed and overall give you enough pressure, especially with the narrow arena. I also like the fact that you started a fight by shooting down his beloved deer scarer. I always adore silly interactions like that. It's obvious that a good deal of thought went into this level. Look at the enemy and gimmick roster, a focused assortment of bamboo-centric novelties that look nice and combine well. Feel the unmistakable sense of place established by the music and tile set. Pay attention to the deliberate manner in which new concepts are taught to the player. Notice the ice wall token's handy weapon refill station, the nearly foolproof safeguards against unintended ways to die in the boss chamber, and other player considerations. Thoughtful design goes a long way in making a level enjoyable, even when certain aspects use more finesse. Graphically, I'm thinking of repetitive dirt tiles and bamboo backgrounds that are impactful but a bit rustic. I think it had a really neat background, like... It's not really Mega Man style, but it's... I don't know, it's cool. I also wouldn't mind slightly earlier bush rustling to telegraph an incoming leaf attack. However, I do like how Spin Cutter is easily mistaken for a leaf. That's a nice devious surprise if players aren't paying attention. Challenge-wise, a few things cut down on the fun. The second half is held back by an arduous vertical section full of slowdown, enemy spam corridor, and an underwhelming lead up to the boss. Yamato Man's attacks are interesting, but hard to predict and react in time. Occasionally questionable architecture, e.g. an unexpected off-screen ceiling in an outdoor area. Fuzzy directionality at the numerous path splits and inconsistent use of ball-destroying rabbits make the layout a bit bamboozling. Shortcomings are minor enough to mention in passing, e.g. a few polish issues with the ice wall token area. More important are the various successes, such as how satisfying the ice wall puzzles are and how well the level explores the potential of its versatile hazards. I also enjoy the subtle humor, from the level title to the madcap power of Bonanza at the end of Yamato Man's wrathful response to property damage. Such a thematic level.
There's a BB Gecko in the house.
Oh boy. Everything here, enemy set, gimmick set, and music helps sell the stage's concept. Of the new gimmicks, I think the simple change that results in the bamboo platforms. Changing the rolling platforms from Uranus from being solid to jump through results in a much more compelling gimmick. I see a lot of recontextualized stock assets here, and I am a big fan of how they often turn out. Getting all the tokens have some reasonable challenges. The ice wall puzzle, whilst hard, is rather satisfying to solve. On the other token rooms can end up a tad too chaotic for my taste, but weapon use requirements are fairly intuitive here. The tile sets and graphics are solid. The new sprite work here feels very on-model. If I had any real issues with the graphics, the bamboo shoots really do not look like they should be lethal, but this is a minor quibble, since this aspect is introduced via bonuside. I think the biggest problem with this stage is that certain screens are very, very crowded. Yet others have too many projectiles, often combined with rather tricky platforming. It's not a deal breaker, the stage is overall very fun, but every so often the screen or three that are on the verge of becoming frustrating. The final room in the lower path doesn't really scream final room. The stage just sort of ends abruptly. The boss, Stalkman, Bamboo Man. He's good. While he hurts a lot when he wallops you, excellent tells make him a fun fight, fitting into the stage. A difficult but fun stage. Good job.
Woohoo!
25 levels left.
And we're probably gonna end off here for tonight, you know? What we got up next?
Dork Man.
Dork Man. Okay. We'll continue that later.
Flurble.
I mean, judges all have their own tastes. I still think that one level seems a little higher than it should be, but hey. I mean, Bastion still would have rescued her, but still, that was just so annoying.
I think Flashman is my favorite judge. And Patchy, but that's mostly because Patchy has all those fun episode titles.
Me and Shinryu seem to have like very similar ideas on some things, but at the same time, it's just like Shinryu is also really harsh, but Shinryu really is the Gordon Ramsay of the judge crew. But that you need somebody like that too. So hey. All right, well, that's going to be it for tonight. We will be back with RP tomorrow, regardless of if the other players are or not. Because it's been... How long has it been? Has it been almost a year now?
It has been half a year.
I don't even know how to figure out my own RP. I forgot so much stuff. I know where I was doing. I have some notes on stuff, but...
I can copy my notes. I don't know what you have planned in the future, but I can tell you where we've been.
I have to do things, so it may take a little bit. So I might not be able to do it again next week because I have to redo things if we're only gonna have one player for now. I wish Matsu was still RPing and stuff, or other people were still RPing. But everybody I know who used to RP doesn't do it anymore. It's just not a very common thing anymore. It's just kind of sad, but yes, we should be back. What's the matter, Dakota? Mr. Coots!
Alright, I'm out of here.
Alright, well, we'll be back tomorrow.
Bye.
Mr. Coots,